What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to another podcast episode of the Kingdom Hearts Senior Talks, where we talk a lot of mad shit, but we are 100% real. And today, we got our special guest that slept through the whole second episode of the podcast, but we got him here this time. Damo, introduce yourself, man. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, hi there guys, how you going? Yeah, first of all, apologies for, working so damn hard, but I just had to sleep through the second episode, my apologies. But I guess I'm the Australian crazy guy that you're always talking, always hearing about, that's like, no, save your jewels, and just makes too many charts and whatever, but yeah, free to play Kingdom Hearts Union crossplayer, and yeah, glad to be here. Thanks, guys.
Welcome, bro.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
And the inspiration to hashtag follow Damo.
Hashtag follow Damo.
I'm surprised that we made that into like an actual
I
trend.
was surprised to see it. Don't worry.
So,
No, well, man, I mean, you do a lot of great stuff for the community in terms of, like, giving out information and laying out information in a clear and concise manner. So you totally deserve it. Like, I watched your videos and I was just like, I never even contemplated, like, strategies you're using or, like, things you're picking out or even things you think about in the future. Like, your timeline for Kyrie, the banner for that one, I really enjoyed that one. That was a really informative and pretty cool thing to watch. I was like, that's a damn good point, and you brought up really good points. So you totally deserve that, man.
No, I appreciate it.
top
I don't know
of
that
being-
concise, but I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, man.
Well, I have a
It's great for free to play players too. I mean, even whales take a lot of advice from you too. So
Oh yeah, most
very well
definitely.
done.
wait, I do?
Damon,
I'm
Yo,
just
Jeff.
learning.
when you saw the hashtag, what was your reaction though, when you kept seeing follow Damo all over the place?
I thought it was a joke, first of all. I was like, alright, who's done this? This is it.
And he was back and listens to podcast one. He's like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, well, I was very surprised. I was like, alright, I gotta listen to this thing, and then I start listening to it, and it's like, oh, they're actually being nice. That's really... It's, I didn't believe it.
Oh yeah, I can't help. I come out as a jackass, but well, not just me, but everybody else here.
Oh yeah. If anybody comes out looking like an asshole, it's definitely me.
Oh, I thought he was about to say ice.
I'm the nice guy. I'm the nice guy.
I know, it's almost surprising we said something nice.
Right?
Shoot,
Whole group of assholes over here.
that's. Anyways, I don't know. Either ways, though, we're glad that everybody enjoyed the second episode of the podcast, and we're gonna continue our best as always to bring you guys some quality content. Whether it be good or not, it's still quality. So, but anyways, though, so a bunch of things has happened throughout the week. A bunch of things that we are going to be talking about. First things first is definitely a big change that, in my opinion, I'm 100% down with, and I like it, and it should have been done since day one, and that was the recent PvP changes, and how now, instead of being sniped from a rank 5,000 and you're currently like 1,000, now it's like the complete opposite, where you can easily get attacked by somebody within, I don't know, like 1,000 ranks from you or 500 ranks from you. That ever since like the first week of PvP, everybody has been complaining about that, even myself, because I thought that was just plain ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've noticed from this past
it's definitely
week
been
how
interesting to
often...
see it.
Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. Go ahead.
How quickly you can fall from even being in the top 100. You can go from 20 to 400 in a day. But now, since PvP rolled over into Monday, I can go to sleep at 10 o'clock and not have to worry about falling out of top 500. And that's a nice feeling. I don't have to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning anymore. But I mentioned, someone in my party mentioned that she used all 10 of her tries, and I think she started in like the 5,000s range and only got up to like 2,000. So it's going to be a lot harder to climb, which makes PvP more relevant throughout the week instead of just that one night, which is great.
Yep.
But you also got to keep up throughout the week, otherwise you're not going to have a very good
It's like, oh man, we gotta play the game now.
Oh, I know, it sucks.
Yeah.
I hate PvP, but I have to do it all week. Shit.
I do want to mention this. There was Glacier had posted something on Reddit and about the PvP changes. She said, since there will be periodic releases rather than one big update, I'm not sure of the timeline, but some changes have been implemented already, and more within the next few months.
Hmm.
And she also said, once the bigger changes occur, we'll be announcing everything. This small update this week will be included as well.
I wonder why they just don't, just report it little by little. I mean, instead of just waiting till the end, unless you're trying to see what we think about it.
Probably.
Or if we even noticed something, because other than the change made this week, I don't even know if any changes there were made.
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about it until Coda mentioned a post on Reddit.
Could they
And-
have changed the issue with metals like KR 13?
Wait,
The ones that are always advantageous over all attributes? The ones that weren't doing any damage at all? Or very little damage?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
To my
Oh, yeah,
knowledge,
yeah.
that hasn't changed, but it's sort of a symptom of the fact that our character itself doesn't actually have any attributes.
Exactly.
So
I
it
know
can
in the,
never
in the
hit
first
super
week,
effectively.
some people were using them because they were still some of their good metals before they were 7 stars, and they were doing like no damage. But I don't know if they've fixed it, because I doubt anyone's still trying to use them, because PvP's been out for 2-3 months now, and I think they probably realized that it's not doing shit for damage. So.
I don't know how
I
they
guess
fix
you-
that unless like specifically making our character like match the attribute of the keyblade they're using or something. I don't know how they'd go about that. Because even if they did that, then let's assume, okay, let's say you've got like Zigbar B, for example, which is always super effective against the enemy that you're playing against. Let's say the enemy you're versing has Lady Luck, but you're running it on a speed setup, so you buff up all your speed. But I don't know if the enemy is going to go ahead and be speed type to match that, then it'd want to like Zigbar would try to become power type, and then you wouldn't have any buffs to that anyway. I don't know how they go ahead and fix that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that thing was happening. So
Yeah.
it shows I don't use that.
Well, people are really not going to be happy until they fix the silver tickets. So
Oh,
they
God,
can get
yes.
whatever they want.
God,
Yeah,
they need to
that's
fix
definitely
that.
That's what everybody's waiting for.
For sure, bro.
Like honestly, I don't think the way people feel about PvP, especially with the tickets, I don't think people would be at the level of how they're upset now if they would have changed that like within like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because by now, people would have gotten better fairies, and the possibilities of them getting a gold at least, or at least one, would be possible. But now it's like we have to wait until they announce, or until we notice that, hey, tier 3s are not in silver tickets no more, for people to actually start advancing. But at the same time, though, players who are like in top 500 and whatnot don't really have to be too concerned about it, because I mean, hell, they've been getting gold tickets for like since day one that PvP release. So I mean, it doesn't really affect them. So I feel like they should have changed that like way early hand instead of waiting now, because the power gap is still going to be huge until players above, like, say, I don't know, like 2,000, 3,000 will be able to catch up with everybody else. And then, of course, the challenge between the top 1,000 ranks would be, I mean, it'll be there. It'll almost be like, a high score challenge event like in Global, where you have to be top 1,000 for a boosted copy of whatever medal it is we're fighting for. I mean, that's pretty much how it's going to end up.
Yep.
But
Yeah. I think one thing as well, like that I'm kind of concerned that they may do up to a point now, is pretty soon. Let's be honest, they're going to start releasing the tier 9 and tier 10 medals. That's going to come out, sooner rather than later in this case. When they do that, then they go, hey, we adjusted the tickets for different fairy tiers now, and they're going to play that game going, oh, guess what? Tier 3s are no longer in the silver tickets. Now it's going to be like tier 4 up to tier whatever in this case. And that's how they'll, say, hey, we fixed it this way, which, isn't really going to be a fix, but I wonder if they'll try and like gloss over that situation when it does occur.
Yeah.
either way, though,
I don't know, I mean,
it's gonna be
it's
interesting
bad.
the way they do it, like 100%. But the thing is,
I
though,
was listening. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's just that the longer they keep waiting, the less is, or the harder it's gonna be for a lot of players, just in general, to be able to catch up.
I was listening to the podcast from last week, and we were talking about people wanting tickets and fairies outside of PvP, which I think we all want that. Well, we mentioned putting them in like Coliseum, the PvE, luxury wards, so on.
Yeah.
Because do people really think that's going to make the playing ground more level? Because the top tier people are still going to be the ones getting the best rewards.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because the people getting the most lux are probably the same people that are in the top 100 in PvP and PvE.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just going to make the rich richer. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
everyone has more access to fairies and stuff, but the power gap is probably not going to be in the scope that you think it's going to be.
I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to people that are free to play or in the majority of people that constantly complain about things they don't have that a lot of whales get. It's like all that's going to do is make the people who pay for the shit, it's going to give them more ammo to use against you first off, and it's really only going to make the little majority that you're in, it's just going to separate that a little bit, you know. If you have certain medals that are dope, like maybe you did well in a certain high score challenge and you were able to get say Bob and Jack, and you got, you know, extra attack and ground on it, and we get and we get gold tickets in an event. You know, having that medal in PvP is going to allow you to do a little bit better than people in your bracket that say didn't get either get him at all or got real shit traits on it. You know, that's really all that's going to change. It's not going to let you compete with whales at all because they got extra attack on everything because they can afford to do it. I mean, just look at Aaron over here who's got multiple copies of fucking Roxas Prime and shit, just for any
Hey,
occasion.
don't call me out, man. Do you guys want to look at Lost?
Don't call me out. I'm not the one with 3.
Dude, you
Don't
have 2
forget Badger.
busks with extra attack.
Say what?
No, I didn't even pull for Dusk. I was unable to pull for that.
Lost
unfortunately.
does.
Oh
Me?
yeah, Lost does.
Wait, Lost ain't
But
got
in
nothing.
in my whale defense, my third copy of Roxas Prime has no traits. It was just an extra one that came out of the banner, so I just left them alone.
No, he hasn't shown.
Yeah, but
He
that's
hasn't
still,
shown the
but that's
screenshot
still
yet.
gonna hurt somebody in
We're not going to talk about
PvP,
Roxas
like-
Prime, okay? Because I think I win that fight.
Badger was-
Oh yeah, fucking Badger is ridiculous with his Roxas Primes.
oh my god.
They all got extra attack. Like, it's stupid. It is stupid. How
By the way,
good
Damo,
is this?
Look,
Shout out
just
to
like
somebody
you
over
got, just like you got your times when you want to show off your Warrior of Life, we got to shine too.
In his defense,
Yeah.
Warrior Light was high score challenge RNG though.
I did get extra attack on Bob and Jack, so I'm good.
Wait, who?
You didn't get
Yeah.
ground like me and Lost did though.
I mean,
You.
but I got extra attack though, so it don't
I got
matter.
extra attack and ground, and I think Lost did too, right?
Yeah. Well,
And,
in my global
Riku
copy,
and
yeah.
Roxas, my Riku and Roxas was boosted, and he got ground, so I'm good.
Yeah, I got ground and EA on that. So
I hate you.
Simba and Bob. I got
But like, it's
5
not gonna
raid
do
crates.
anything. Like, people that complain about not being able to do certain things like whales do, it's not gonna change what
It's
you're
never gonna change.
able to do as far as competing with whales. It'll just make you that much better than people that are in your own bracket.
If I were to distribute tickets out non-PvP wise, non-banner wise, and the way I'd probably do it would be to avoid the ranking system like you're talking about. Again, because if you put in a high score challenge, then, well, who's going to win the high score challenge? Obviously, it's going to be the top tier players that can afford the best rewards, whatever. If I were to do it, I'd do it like maybe what they're testing out now. Let's say you have a monthly raid event and it costs you 10,000 of those coins to pick up a Fantasia Mickey B. Why not chuck a couple tickets behind that where you literally have to take out X amount of raid bosses to do it? So you can earn them, but you have to put in the work to do it.
Exactly.
And the way
That's a
they've
good
removed that 10,000 coin reward right now, I'm thinking like, okay, well that made it really easy for you to take out 2 level 90s, even if it's your very, very first boss. If your party member summons a level 90 for you, you can go ahead, pop 2 of those off, and you can unlock every single node on that board. Well, what if they're going to add in like tickets behind that next month, for example? I'm not saying they will, I'm just thinking, you know, what are they thinking here? And if you really put the work in, that's sort of the problem that I see a lot of players do. And they go to me all the time, well, how do you have this many jewels? How do you have this many jewels? I'm like, okay, well, have you done all the Proud Moment quests? Have you done all the Union Cross this week? And they go, oh no, I hate Union Cross. I'm like, Well, that's
That's your
that's
fault.
a few hundred more. That's a few hundred more jewels a week, and it's like, well, it's only this many jewels. It's like, yeah, well, but it adds up, over time it really adds up, do you do your 3 PvP matches a week? Well, no. I mean, this is not everyone, of course. Some people just have, they do their best, and they don't necessarily know what to pull for, and they get bad luck sometimes, especially, but there so many players that I talk to, and it's like, there are jewels there, and even I'm bad sometimes, but I try to go out of my way to earn every single friggin' jewel possible.
Yeah.
And I mean,
No,
you
it's
can
definitely
do
possible.
good stuff with it and be competitive if you just pick your moments when to pull. Like that's the biggest thing in this game is just pick your opportunities.
And the thing
Exactly.
with High School Challenge, you don't have to be a whale per se to rank high, right? Like for example, let's say if
Five
Roxas,
pulls, Bob and Jack.
and let's
That's
say
all I
like
did.
Roxas versus
Top
Ariq for the
2000.
medal, right? When I pulled my first pull, I got 3 of them. So if there was a High School Challenge, that's 21% per medal right
Jesus.
there. So it's just like I got super lucky. Like one of my friends, he's almost free to play. He bought VIP this month, and then he hasn't bought VIP in months.
Mm.
And he plays top 1,000 because he had a few jewels and he just saved, and then he pulled on that banner particularly. So I like High School Challenges for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you want to place top 10, then you have to whale out. But at the end of the day, that shit means nothing because you're still getting the same reward as 999th place. So it's
One
like,
We're not like
competitive reward is
JP, 'cause
1,000, so.
Yeah,
'cause
JP, we
NA's
gotta be
not
top
like
100.
JP.
yeah, what didn't it used to be like that in global when it first came out?
I can't remember.
Wasn't it top 100 if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was top 100.
You have to be top 100, and then top 1,000, and then 2,000, and so on.
Yeah, because
Well, I
remember it
think
was super
so.
competitive.
They increased the limit from 100 to 1,000 because the player base for the game grew like exponentially. During that first 8 months to a year. I mean,
Mhm.
it got pretty big, so they had to increase it from 100 to 1,000, which I agree with that statement or that portion of it. But one thing I've noticed about high score challenges lately is why I do enjoy them. They're a lot of fun to play for, just competing, making different setups for them.
Mhm.
I have noticed that they're becoming more important in terms of the power creep a little bit. Again, the best example as of right now would be Sora and Simba and Bob and Jack. You got them, and you automatically got power increases for them, and that's really good. But in order to get them, you're not giving it as much flexibility in terms of like making a really inventive setup anymore. Now it's all about percentage. Like you
Yeah.
have to have a certain a percentage, which means you need to pull. Otherwise, you're probably not going to. You might get that the goal to get like the medal basically just in like the score rewards. But if you want that boosted copy along with the extra copy for a trait, you need to actually pull and put money into the game again in order to even have a chance of reaching that with a percentage.
Not necessarily,
way
but
to
if you
do-
wanted the boosted one every single time.
Yeah, if you wanted to,
yes.
if you
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to
Yeah,
boost
yeah.
it one.
If you want to skip
But-
3 high school challenges and
But
save
let's
for
be
the one
honest
that
about that, man.
comes
Let's be
out
honest.
really, really
For
want.
Sora and Simba, and Bob and Jack, you wanted that boosted copy. I mean, you.
I mean, like,
yeah,
I
I
didn't
don't
get a
boost
boosted
copy of all of
copy,
them,
and
but
mine got
it's-
extra attack, and I'm cool. Like, there are
Yeah.
people like
Yeah.
Badger over here that got a boosted copy and got all raid on that bitch. And if he goes into PvP with it, someone with extra attack and ground on it is gonna slap the shit out of him. If they're like
I'm
if they're
at
like
28, I don't
equal
think
in
I
power,
what the hell you're
if
talking
they're
about.
equal in power outside of their Bob and Jack, if y'all are equal in power outside of your Bob and Jack, and the only
Oh no, I got hit
difference,
with one. That hits pretty fucking hard, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
that's
a
that.
big
When using my
difference.
nominee
Pretty big
for my
difference,
Simba
you
in
know?
the raid, holy shit.
I
Yeah.
can imagine Simba and Ray. What was he hitting for, bro?
About 21 million a hit,
Oh,
Holy
how
God,
many hits?
shit.
that hurts.
How many hits?
over 11 hits, so
11
my
hits. Yeah.
God.
I
You
feel
can't-
like though, if you're
you
free to
can't-
play and you don't have the jewels for some shit, like you shouldn't be like, okay, boys, I gotta get top 1,000. I gotta get that boosted copy, fam. We gotta be in here. Like, no, that should not be your mentality if you have like a limited amount of jewels
no.
that you can pull for, or you don't have the funds to be able to go deep on some
Exactly.
shit. You should just
The
be
best,
like,
I mean,
okay.
there's a lot of whales here. The best advice I could give you if you're free to play, follow Damo.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's not just Damo, but there's also another
I-
YouTuber called Spinebreaker. He
Yeah.
had been singing for a good ass minute. He was tempted to pull on the nominate banner. He was tempted to pull on the Dusk medal, and it's a good thing he didn't because hey, look at that. What is it? Kyrie and Shion, Five Mercy came out. in JP,
Yeah.
and he in his video that he uploaded, he was not dancing, but
He was
he was super hyped. He was real happy that he saved his jewels, and he still has extra jewels in case something good, that's a mercy hopefully, in JP's anniversary next month could come out. And that's what a lot of people need to take example of, not just from him, not just from Damo, but from a lot of players that might not even get into the community too much, but those people right there are like perfect examples of like, hey, you don't have to pull on every medal. Yeah, it looks nice and everything, and before anybody else starts saying like, oh, it's just because you're wearing everything, you got the medal. No, I'm just talking about like in general. If your setups are fine just the way they are, there ain't no reason for you to pull. Just keep going. Skip it. If there's like a high school challenge medal going on, and I can understand like if they have a 6-star copy or whatnot, that's fine too. But other than that, I mean, you don't always have to pull. I know it's tempting, but if you pull, that's your fault. It's a gotcha game. What do you expect?
Yeah, you always have
control.
But like I said last week, the game does an amazing job of making sure you want to pull every week, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like the Dusk banner. Like we were literally just talking about copy medals last week, and then boom, copy. And then you got Khux and Shion, Mercy. It's just like, damn, man, who can save? Only Damo.
It's hard to say, especially if you're free to play, because you want to catch up, you want to be competitive.
Yeah.
But if you're free to play, it's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in the free to play people that you constantly see on social media that are complaining, oh, well, it's the whales that are making this game not fun because they're dominating everything. Well, you can be like that if you save. Don't pull up every single freaking banner. If you can't mercy a damn medal, don't fucking touch it.
Bro, I can't stand whenever I'm in like a pool channel and somebody's like, well, time to try this luck. You're like, no, don't do that. Like, you literally just wasted 3,000 jewels.
Let's see how my luck is.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Because you have the people in Discord that do that one pull, and they end up with nominate first pull, and everybody's like, oh, he can get it, I can get it, and they start pulling.
Yeah. I mean, one pull, there's 40,000 mercies, so congratulations.
Unless you don't
fell
care
into a
about
complete
PvP, you don't care about traits, you ain't trying to be competitive about shit, and it's one of them banners like the Roxas Riku where you're guaranteed a 6-star copy every pull, then save your fucking jewels and don't pull on some shit if you can't mercy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the people that are like, well, I've done 3 pulls on it. I need to earn how many more jewels before the banner goes away? I'm like, well, why did you pull it all? And it's not, of course, the temptation's really there, but it's like, man, if you don't have the 15k, you should probably just hang on to it. Because if you're not going to get the mercy by that last day anyway, then there was no point pulling for it at all, especially if it only drops like a trade medal every single time.
Yeah.
Like if you're pulling off Roxas and Shion, for example, and the only way you're going to get it is on the 5th pull, you should not be touching that banner until you've got enough to mercy it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're totally right. You're totally right. I mean, that's the biggest thing I did. Like, I really wanted to pull for Illustrated Dusk. I had only enough for 2 pulls, so I didn't pull for the Dusk. Instead, I pulled on the Reaper and got better trades.
Yeah.
So I mean that worked out a lot better. But yeah, you're definitely right. If you want that mercy and you can't mercy that medal by the time it's over, then you, honestly, as much as sometimes you may really want that medal, you just need to skip it. And for me,
Let's say you had.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I was gonna say, let's say you had 6,000 jewels left, alright? So you could buy 20 medals with that. And the main thing you could buy, in that case, if you're pulling off the Dusk banner, is 2 trait medals for a medal you don't have. And then a couple of 7 stars with some skills on it. Are you happy to trade 6,000 jewels for literally 2 used trades if you don't have the right medal? And a couple of skills? I mean, you're probably better off buying like 1 avatar board at that point for 2.5 grand and saving the 3.5. Like, there's no point trying to pull off those medals, banners that only have trade medals unless you can touch them, unless you can hit the mercy, in my opinion.
And word of advice, people, please, if you're gonna do 1 pull, just realize, let's say if you're pulling for Roxas Prime, right, and you can't mercy him, and you hoping you get him on your first pull, you're not gonna be able to trade the shit anyway, so it's pointless. So if you can't mercy it, doesn't matter if you get it in the first pull, it's gonna be really pointless. You know, like traits are the big thing. You need traits for pretty much everything. Every event you need traits for. So that's
why, like, I don't understand the big. I mean, I understand to a degree, But I didn't understand all the complaining last week with the Lady Luck, and people were like, "Oh fuck, I can't do anything. Everybody's got extra attack on everything." You want to know why? Because they could afford to keep pulling until they got the traits that they wanted on those
Exactly.
medals, or they got super lucky. So if you run up on somebody that has nothing but extra attack on every medal, it's because they could afford to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be like, "Oh man, I got this medal, I'm about to wreck some motherfuckers in PvP." Like, no, fam. Once you start getting pretty high up there, they gonna start shitting all over you. It ain't nothing you
Yeah,
can do
you should
about it.
go. You should go. I'm gonna wreck some people in a certain tier bracket. That's about as far as you're gonna get with that.
Yep.
Then you're gonna run into Lost and Aaron and Badger.
And I'll tell you one thing: one medal will not make you good in PvP.
Nope.
No.
Especially,
Nope.
maybe if it's only one blade, but if it's three
If
blades,
it's a 1K
medal,
blade week, maybe, but yeah.
no.
Yeah.
It's like this Bob and Jack medal came out, and I've faced a couple people that have good traits on them, and they do just damn good damage. I don't use mine because it sucks. But if it was a one blade week, yeah, I'd be
I was
uncovered.
honestly surprised. I was surprised when I saw that my Bob and Jack was dealing like I think it was like 4.7 million damage through DB5, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'll take it. But I was like, wow, I did not quite expect that because I mean that's definitely outperforming my my Syax and my Lexia. So I was like, that's the thing.
You're like,
Well, you can
I'm
afford
so
to
glad
lose
to have the
one
medal.
blade, and that's 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
My Sykes is still like my go-to for like cleanup in PvP.
'Cause
Like
got
if I
extra
feel
attack.
like, oh man, well it's extra attack and 1K
Man,
strength.
get your ass out of here.
But air don't matter. Air don't matter in PvP.
Nah,
So it's
unless we start flying all of a
But-
sudden.
But bruh, like I'd be waiting on somebody's damage if they get to go first. And like I see, oh man, like they could possibly, and then out of nowhere he just started hitting for like 4 mil just back to back. Like, yes, let's get it, boys. And we still got another attack to go after this.
For sure.
Yeah, so it just begs the question too of how, since we're talking about like banners and like what to pull for and whatnot, especially for JP players, and in the news that global players are going to be getting from what JP is going to be getting during their anniversary. It begs the question: how many banners do you think JP is going to get during
Every
the whole
week,
week? But no, of course it's going to be every week. But the thing is, though, like our last anniversary, we had the foretellers. So that was like,
Yeah.
and alongside that, we also had, I think Kyrie came out as well, or illustrated Kyrie.
Honestly, if you wanted me to be real about this, I would probably say wait until some shit starts coming out for JP if you really want that Kyrie. Or Shion, wait. Please, for the love of God, wait until some shit drops in JP, because for all you know, since it's their anniversary and Kyrie and Shion have been out for a pretty good while over there, they might decide to drop some foretellers that do what they do for buffing and shit, and just shit all over them, and people that didn't have them are just gonna be stuck like, well, I guess I just pulled for Kyrie and Shion EX for literally no reason, when these new medals they got literally do what they do and do a shitload of damage.
Well, I remember last anniversary for JP, they released the foretellers. They released 2 at a time,
Uh-huh.
and then they released Kyrie at the very end when they released Era.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone spent on Ava and Gula, and
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden they released Kyrie, and it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like, hey, baby girl, what you
Like,
doing
the
here?
global was like, okay, well, fuck the
No, I can
foretellers.
see that. It'll be the Master of Masters medal. It'll give time 7.
I can see that
both
happening.
upright and reverse, because it'll do everything, and it'll deal an obscene amount of damage.
No,
Because,
and me and Coda, when I was doing a little research on some stuff related to like anniversary, and so I started looking up Kingdom Hearts Chi 3rd anniversary, and to see if maybe there was anything relatable that might potentially come to JP's 3rd anniversary. There was one thing that a subscriber told me was that now that story and pod quest are pretty much caught up in JP, and the direction that story quest is going right now. So spoiler alert if you don't want to get spoilers in 3, 2, 1. But in story for JP, we are revisiting worlds. My prediction for next month when we get another story update is that I feel like we're going to be getting this world and another Keyblade, is how I see it. Alongside with that, the subscriber also told me that that there's a possibility that now that we are caught up with Proud and Story mode, we could have a critical mode, which I'm curious as to how they're gonna do that. But I feel like it'll be like the stronger. It's gonna be, of course, it's gonna be more challenging and whatnot. Aside from that, two potential medals that I feel like could potentially come out would be another key art, which I will probably post the pictures that I'm talking about in the description if I remember to do it. But yeah, there is a key art medal that could potentially come out, which is Sora, Riku, Kairi, and then the current Union Masters all together in one picture. And then another medal would be Sephiroth, because in Chi's 3rd anniversary, they got a Sephiroth card. So the potential of seeing another Sephiroth medal could be coming.
Damn it, no, not him again.
Aaron doesn't want to hear this.
No mercy, bro. You know that.
Oh my god.
No.
We had this conversation last week, Lost Man.
Aaron,
Why
you
you
do
doing
40
this to
polls
me?
this time?
Shut up.
Prepared, bro.
Yeah, so
I think
that-
for the story mode in general, because I was doing free to play Lost Story quests, starting with Maleficent Dragon, the HP on that thing jumped sky high, and even the ends of the Revisiting World quests, those raid bosses sort of were more challenging than the rest of the quests within that section. So I think that's gonna start jumping up story quests, starting with the new world, the difficulty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that would be good for the longevity of the game because, I mean, Proud Mode had 6 new Keyblades introduced. If they add the critical mode, hopefully it's 6 more that they can add.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what this game desperately needs right now is more Keyblades because we haven't had a new one in like a
God
year.
knows how long. Good God.
They
it's
have a
been forever.
shitload of Keyblades to choose from too, though. If they're gonna put them in this, they have a shitload to choose from.
No, Coda mentioned that. I forgot which one that you said, man, but there was a Keyblade from 358, I believe, that could.
Omega Gear.
There you
Plus.
go. Yeah, he thinks maybe that one might be the next one. Seeing as how it's kind of like the reverse Keyblade of Fairy Stars.
Oh, nice. How many
Oh
games
wow,
can you
yeah.
imagine?
But like I say, it's just predictions. I mean, anybody can say whatever. I mean, of course,
I would love that actually.
I would love that too.
Yeah,
Don't get me
I love
wrong.
that.
But and look, a lot of people, I like between me and Damo, and maybe a few other YouTubers that are going to be reporting what's happening in JP's anniversary. A lot of people are immediately going to start like passing rumors, like, oh, wait, they got this, and as much as I hate seeing those posts, and I want to, jump in there and correct them and make them look like a dumbass. I just keep quiet and keep doing my own thing and actually pass the correct information. But this is all just like speculation of what could potentially come to JP's anniversary, but just the game in general, because you never know. Something new might pop up, and just the way like the 2nd anniversary for us, we got the Foretellers, we got Kairi, we might see something crazy coming up here next month, because September's like what, 6 days away. Anniversary starts on the 3rd.
Yeah.
So
Well, didn't they say they were going to have a world
Unique to
Union
Unicross.
Cross? Like, exactly, that was going to be a summon in Cage 3, which everyone thought was going to be Wreck-It Ralph, since we saw the summon of that in the toy box
that's what I thought.
trailer. So if they do a Wreck-It Ralph world, I don't know
Do
if
you
they
think
could have a brand new unique Keyblade, or if they would recycle one from a previous title.
That'd be cool though.
Either or.
that'd be very cool.
I mean, I'm surprised the Ultimate Weapon hasn't popped up in some form of fashion. What's the other one? Decisive Pumpkin would be good. Heroes
Oh my
Crush.
god, if we were to get
I think
Halloween
the
Town
ones that are,
Cucks.
like Notorious, Kingdom Key, Oblivion, Oathkeeper, Ultimate Weapon. Those ones are too big, I think, to ever put in the game because no one would ever use anything else.
I mean, if they make them not as good as certain other things, you got to put a shitload of gems in order to make them, powerful. And when everyone
Please
for
don't
so
give them
long
ideas.
was like,
Do not give them ideas. Please.
You know what I'm thinking they might do?
Yo,
Imagine they had a Keyblade behind a VIP board. In order to get this Keyblade, you have to have a
Oh
VIP
my
board.
god.
Please
That would
don't.
be a
You know,
riot.
Austin Badger would have it
Something.
right off the bat, and Aaron.
Please no. Please no.
You know what's gonna
Let's
happen.
not do that. I mean,
Like they're gonna
Maybe.
do that.
I'm
They're
selling
gonna
my
do that kind
MacBook.
of thing, or they'll release a new Keyblade or Keyblades if they're gonna do that way, and then they're also gonna release that new Gym Banner deal again, where you can just keep on pulling and pulling and pulling, and you'll be like, okay, you can level that thing up to like max or like pretty high up there in like one day. And people who are able to put money into the game like a lot, they're gonna walk around and just dominate everything. Like if one of those blades is put in like PvP that week is gonna be nothing but the people putting into
It would be pretty smart to actually put a new blade here pretty soon, because what everyone's doing, myself included, is when they're getting gems, they're leveling up their blades that they don't use very
Yeah,
often.
that's
because
what I'm
PvP.
doing.
Yep.
No one has
I've
gems right
leveled up
now.
literally everything except for the ones we can't, like missing egg, diamond
the proud
dust,
reverse
and
ones.
those are the only ones I haven't.
It's like right now I'm working on my
right.
Olympia because it's almost
See,
35.
I thought about that.
33.
I thought about that. So I'm doing my utmost that I'm only doing that for blades that are in PvP that week. And if I'm losing to a point, like if I can't get past a certain hurdle, then I might level the blades up. But if I can get past it, then I'm not using my gems yet. But
Smart
it's getting to
man.
the point where like last week for instance, I actually had to level up my Lady Luck. And I was just like, I felt a little dirty doing that because, like, after the PvP,
I'm not getting that desperate.
after the
Those
PvP,
first
I
three
didn't
are
use that
not
much. I didn't use that one.
No, I'm about to say I'm already at that level because I mean the only key list I have left to max out is Three Wishes, Treasure Trove, and Lady Luck. Like right now, 2 of them are 34 and 1 of them is 33. So I'm at that point. I'm just like, well, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, but that makes it a perfect time to put a new Keyblade in, because no one has the gems to do that because everyone's blowing them on the PvP blades.
It was
Yeah.
missing egg in one of the Kingdom Hearts games. Or did they just make that one up?
358.
358.
3-5 out of 2 days.
Of course,
yeah.
it was one of the ones that a lot of people either didn't play or I just didn't care enough to remember that blade.
Do you guys think that they should come out with a Keyblade that's fully one attribute though? So let's say like an all power Keyblade or all magic.
There's
Well,
a
they-
few
I
of
mean,
them.
excuse me, like upright. I mean upright, like just all upright.
Oh,
Like full blown upright.
Yeah.
is it still mixed? Like, is
No,
it
no,
all?
no.
is
Like,
it-
let's say if like Counterpoint didn't have a reverse magic slot in it. Do you think they should do one of those at one point?
Hmm.
Or you
all
think
the
they
same
all should?
attribute, all the same type?
Yeah. So like all magic or all power, but upright, and then another one like because you see how like the reverse ones have one upright.
Part of
slot
me
in it?
wants to say yes, but I know in saying yes that means
No.
the obvious, and that's they're gonna end up coming out with even better versions of the key art medals and the forward copy ones that we already have. So they're just gonna have things
That's what I
that
was
shit
about to
on
say, yeah.
Dominate 2.0, and they're gonna have ones that shit all over the key arts. So people are gonna have to pull for those even more because they'll be like tier 8s, tier 9s, and tier 10s, and just like
The part
shit.
of me that wants to say yes, that would be a good idea, is the part of me that just wants a new Keyblade.
Yeah.
Because look at like Stephen
Because-
Lang, for the longest, that third slot just sucked. Like
Yeah.
imagine if it was just another upright speed slot right there.
But then they released Phantom, and that literally got rid of a lot of that.
Yeah.
For a lot of
How
people.
long did it
Yeah,
take?
I think a lot of people use those even with the reverse slot for a copy medal now anyway, so you are effectively using it as a single element, single attribute Keyblade anyway at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now that we have the options to do so, like now that you have your Illustrated Dusk that can copy backwards and your Phantom that can reverse speed copy forward, I think if they fill out that roster and have options in every single slot, then you probably don't need to go down that option you're talking about of having like a single thing. I can sort of see them doing it maybe for a tricolor Keyblade, like a full upright tricolor Keyblade or a full reverse
Yeah,
tricolor
that I would
Keyblade.
like. If you mix
More
all
so
the
than a single
attributes, that
attribute.
I'd be much more interested in. Like
Yeah.
if you had a
No,
reverse
no.
power,
Honestly, I just want a upright power copy medal now. Just give me that, please.
Yeah.
An
Yeah.
upright
Yeah,
what?
we've been waiting for that for a long time.
upright power.
copy medal.
Oh,
yeah.
that copy's forward. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the last thing they got to release.
Yeah, that is the last thing, because Dusk literally took care of the reverse
Backwards.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have Dusk and Phantom for a long time. Those were
Oh,
another two
very long
attributes we didn't
time.
have all the
Holy
time.
crap.
So is
Maybe
Kurt
that,
Caesar going to be? I wonder.
Maybe
Like,
that-
I'm
maybe that-
wondering what Kurt Caesar's
You and
gonna
that
be.
Kurt Caesar crap, man.
Bruh, like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I am waiting so hard for this.
I'm gonna laugh when that shit becomes a high school
Oh,
challenge
sure.
medal.
Please don't do that to me.
Why? You can get traits on it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, let me get extra attack ground.
I'll get raid.
Wow.
Yeah, but they could make it into like a Peter or the Mickey medal, and then no one uses it, and then I'll be sad because I've been asking for it for so long, and then it's just trash. No one ever uses it on anything.
Oh yeah, I think you say consistency at least once every time I talk to you.
I mean, like, I figured he'd be the reverse magic one, but it was Dusk instead.
You know, it'd be some shit if he popped up like in an event or in a high score challenge where it's like, hey, look, it's a new enemy, Kurt Caesar. Here's Daddy. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, bro. I'm here.
Well, you know, they've done a lot of crossover events lately. They did the Toy Story, now The Incredibles. What other one would you like to see soon?
Crossover event?
Agrabah.
Yeah, with a Disney
What?
movie. God, no.
Please, God, no. I hate that place so fucking much, bro.
Well,
Bruh,
there's a few new worlds coming to Cage free, like Frozen and Tangled. What if they did something like that for you?
no, I'm good. No, I'm good.
I
Nah,
don't wanna
bro.
see
Keep them out the fuck of my game, fam. I ain't trying to do none of that shit.
They have to
Like,
do it
no.
in
so
January,
uninteresting.
so.
Come on, man. You know you want something in here.
It's coming in 3. You're not used to it.
I know, but I'll deal with it in there. I'm not dealing with it in this.
No,
At least in that game, I can go through one world and be good with it. In this game,
Watch
fuck,
also be
they'll
like
stretch
an
that
OP
bitch out.
Magic Battle.
How long was Agrabah? Oh my god.
Bruh, like, and
Well, that
the
shit
fucking open.
like we weren't even to the
desert
second
areas.
movie.
Seasons changed outside the window. That's how long Agrabah was.
Oh my god, yeah, that's true.
Real, bro.
Agrabah.
Agrabah
And then I was so glad to see it was over. And then, like, I was like, okay, we're done with Agrabah. No more Agrabah. And then I was like, wait, we still have it in Proud.
Proud,
It'll turn in Proud. Oh my god,
It's
why?
like, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back and better than ever, man.
And Aladdin's my favorite movie, but shit, man. My
Yeah.
favorite
Oh, same.
movie, but God.
It can only take so much.
I was going to say, you know what I would really actually like? If we had an event or something, a crossover with Hercules where we got to fight the Titans.
Oh, that'd be
That'd be
That'd be
badass.
pretty cool.
Yes.
That'd be a fun crossover.
Heck yeah. Like
And while we're
characters.
doing that, we can fight Sephiroth at the same time. Like, they had that Sephiroth model for, like, a couple years now.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
right.
They
yeah, I forgot about- in
advertised-
Taiwan.
In the Taiwan event, yeah, they had it on the banners outside whatever that building was. And didn't they have it at... Did any of you guys go to the Dandelion meeting?
Nah,
Didn't you get to fight him there?
nah.
We weren't cool
we,
enough.
we ain't popular like that.
No.
Maybe next year.
I could have, I just didn't care enough.
That's the goal for the podcast, is to get the invites.
Alright.
Yeah, right.
So, with Kingdom Hearts 3, I have a question, not to change the subject. What's up with the Final Fantasy characters? Because I haven't seen any of them in the trailers. Are they abandoning that, or?
My prediction
Nah,
is
they're
DLC
probably
will.
gonna be saved. They'll probably be saved for like the final trailer or some shit. Cause you know how they do. For all of these Kingdom Hearts shit, they show like the basic trailers for a while, and then right before that shit about to drop, they hit you
They
with that
spoiled
hype
the
ass
entire
shit.
game.
It's like out of nowhere, like fuck, bro.
Well, you know we're probably getting a new trailer here in the next couple of weeks with Tokyo Game Show coming up.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be out. It's supposed to be out in Japan in December, right? The end of December.
Hey, who
What
else is
game?
gonna be noted?
What, the game? No, it comes out January 25th.
Mickey's gonna get Norded, bro.
Oh man, I'm gonna cry.
I'm not. Fuck that guy.
Bro,
I'm
I
here.
can't stand that motherfucker, bro.
Who, Mickey?
Yeah, bro, like, you know how much of this shit could have been avoided if he had just man up and told all these motherfuckers the truth a long time ago.
Okay, we can't blame Mickey for all that. Look what the fuck Yen Sid did to sit behind his
Yeah.
damn desk.
He ain't
Get
done
off your
shit.
fat lazy asshole, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's a fact. I mean, Yen Sid looks Norded already. He looks evil as fuck, bro.
Yeah, he kind of does.
He got the pedo eyes, bro.
He got
I
the
mean, he
pedo
is
eyes.
technically Disney, so. I mean,
You just remind me of that just a pancake video. He talks straight about that. Well,
No, it's when
Oh,
Square
yeah,
Enix
I
added
got that
Graham
one.
becomes
I was
a
like,
character.
wait, yeah, I got that one.
that shit was funny. I think it made it into like a music video or some shit.
Uh-huh.
That was a good shit, man. That's from the top.
That'd be fun. It'd be funny to have him on here.
Right?
Is
gotta
it for
work-
talking Microsoft Sam voice the entire time? or-
That would be
I don't know if I
amazing.
could do that in 2 hours.
Is he still
gotta-
making content?
I'm not sure.
Let's have a
Yeah,
look.
I'm not sure either.
Because I don't think I've seen anything for the longest time.
Yes, 6 hours ago he made a video.
Oh, hey, speaking of that. Oh man.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like he's not been in my recommendations at all, even though I used to watch just about all these videos.
Yeah, same. Which
Well, YouTube is already messed up as it is.
Yeah,
in terms of that.
YouTube is fucking up extra hard. So
yeah, I
That's
guess
I'm getting
bizarre, yeah.
recommendations for people that I don't even follow or sub to, so
Right.
let's get
Like
these
me.
people off here.
he's like me.
I'm a sub. I mean, you are. It's right here. This is yesterday's video. It's right here. The Kyrie timeline. But
Damo, I get some of your old videos popping up in my feed. Like the
bro,
hell.
what you said? Like today, I came back home after I did some shopping and shit, and came back home to load up the video you had earlier because I saw it on my list. But beforehand, it had like some old ass video in my
The
list.
Nova one?
Way before. Yeah, it was like one of the old ones.
It's always the Nova one. That one gets recommended like to me constantly, and I'm like, what? How is this still the one? I think 'cause it's got like traction. Like it out of
YouTube
nowhere
knows
has
it.
like 37,000
You are.
views, and it's like, what the fuck?
recommending your own videos.
Funny thing is, Nova does anything anymore, and it's like the most relevant.
Dude,
video.
Nova's OP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right? It's like,
They should buff Nova, I reckon. Like Nova Plus or
Right.
something, and
make it, yeah, for sure, bro. Or just take it
Yeah,
out.
especially with 7-stars making, and you can pull 7-stars
Bruh.
and Nova jump
Folks
6
used to
levels.
be proud of that Nova too, boy.
know,
Like
bro.
when you, like hell yeah, I got like 2,000 Nova, and now you pop that shit and don't do the goddamn thing.
Congratulations, you did 1900 damage.
Well, my shit did one in Cali, I almost cried, bro. Like, on stream. On
Wait,
stream,
what?
I was like, yeah, bro. Like, what the fuck is going
You
on?
know, once
here?
your Nova does 1 in college, you're about to hit the wall.
Bro, I thought the game was like fucked. I checked Twitter right away. Like, wait a minute, did they mess something up or something? Because what's going on here?
I remember 2-3 months ago, I hit my Nova in Kali once. It did 2.
I was like, wait, I'm
Nuh-uh.
a whale. I have 2,000 over.
Hey, we got this recorded. Iceberg just confirmed he's a whale.
No. I was acting like I was Badger. I was acting like I was Badger. He was like, what? I'm a whale. This is impossible.
That's like when Lost was doing Coliseum against that Centipede. It's like I have all ground traits and I have
Oh my
all
God,
magic medals,
yes.
and I'm dealing 1 damage against that thing. It's like
You are that
what?
centipede's bitch.
Wait, so how did you
Apparently.
beat the Centipede then?
Huh?
How did you beat the Centipede? You needed ground and strength or something?
No,
You can't.
you need. No, I don't know what you need. Like the only metal that was doing damage was my sword and Simba.
I think he cut off. I can't hear him anymore.
You guys hear me?
Yeah,
cut
so-
off.
There you go. No, for some reason, yeah, the only metal that was actually doing damage was Sora and Simba. And I don't know if it's because my fairy sauce slot was like almost a what is it, like a 4 point something, and has has like what
Gracious
plus
divine.
3K strength and ground, I was surprised it was barely doing like a mil.
That's crazy, bro. I haven't even touched Kali this month, bro. I was
Oh,
so
speaking of
demoralized.
additions that they can make, can we please get an automized button for sub slots?
Subslots.
God,
yes.
Please,
Apple
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, my slot 5 on my fairy sword is the 4.775.
Oh my god.
You maxed it out though, right?
Oh yeah, it's maxed.
What's max again on Fairy?
He's like, oh yeah, it's maxed.
On
Come on,
Subslot?
man.
No, not the sub slot. What's the max on Fairy Stars in general?
Oh, it's level 40. Mine's only
40?
level 38.2.
Christ, dude.
So
Is it the
mostly
max,
I
or is
like-
that just what people have reached?
What's that?
I think that's the max. It's level
wow.
40.
40's the max. I think they raised them all to 40, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
raised.
Yeah, 40 the max for all Keyblades, yeah.
I
Can
wanna
you
get my
im-
treasure trove to 40.
can you imagine somebody with a level 43 wishes?
Oh my god.
What
You should-
the?
You can do more with 3 wishes than you
First
can with a fucking treasure trove.
Oh, you got a point. Oh, you mean counterpoint?
I'm a level 40 my lady luck. I'm gonna be the first one in global to do it.
Shut your ass up.
I mean, them fuckers best not be losing no matches in
I'm
PvP.
Yeah,
still
so we get
gonna
that one-
lose because I don't
That
have
one
EDI.
Lady Luck week, and we see the number 1 player's ice.
Right? I'm gonna like suck it, bitches. That's what I'm gonna say. To you. Man.
You know, a level 40 Lady Luck probably still has a worse multiplier than a 35 fairy stars.
Yeah.
Lady luck is so bad. I hate that Keyblade, bro. Can't stand it.
Yeah, it's the most
Well,
randomest
well,
slots too. Like
Ugh.
like freaking third slot is like, well, I think like the second highest, and then you go to the fourth slot and it's shit.
It literally makes no sense, bro. It just
I think the first is the highest.
The first is the highest, yeah.
On Lady Luck, what? I gotta look at it right now. That's crazy.
Up to a certain level, like at the shitty level I've got mine at, it's still the first. Like 2.35 on the
higher
very
than-
first
See,
slot.
shit like that concerns me, bro. Shit like that is concerning me for JP's anniversary, fam. Like, fuck.
At level 26, the highest are 5 and 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Jesus.
Damn, that sounds good.
You know what?
That Kari EX Plus be hitting pretty hard though, come on.
Right. My
Yeah,
card
and
has
2, 3, and
rounds.
4 are all the same.
Hey, that Lady Luck though definitely helped me get my new rank in PvP though, so I ain't complaining.
Yeah, you had a good week with that.
Hell yeah, I scored rank 22 for that
Bro,
week.
I had a dope ass rank.
I was
But
I
man,
was
you have a
destroying people. If you were to see that video, man, the setup that I had was ridiculous. Almost every single medal of my extra attack, except for my Phantom and Simba.
Well,
Yeah, I saw your setup. It was.
My setup was
A little
dirty.
bit.
Except for all these other fuckers who decided, hey, let's put DB5 in my setup so we can fuck with them. God, I hate
I do that
that.
on every single blade.
they had to
God, I
stop.
can't fucking stand that shit.
I
bro.
cannot
It be
stand
pissing
that.
me off so much. Cause
Like-
you be looking like these motherfuckers cannot out damage me. If it wasn't for your shitty ass DB5, I swear to God. Oh my
If I take
God.
DB5 out, I'm just gonna do more damage. So
Mhm. I feel like I'm always missing something in PvP though. Like a few weeks ago, when my Keyblade setup was nice, I just didn't have DB5 to contend with the top people, and I was kept losing to DB5. Always missing something. Now this week I'm missing some of the traits, and it's just like,
No, and funny enough too. Funny
until
enough,
they get DB6.
the pirate boards that I'm assuming Globo's gonna be getting tomorrow morning has a DB5 in it. So now I'm about to run
Yeah.
into more players who
Yeah,
has
I need
DB5.
that sucks, bro. Plus, people are gonna have Kyrie and Shion with DB on it, so.
I also
Honestly,
need one
like
more
I
DB4
said,
max because I
as
fucked up.
much as I would like to pull for her, like right away, I'm waiting to see what drops in JP. Because I swear to God, if I save these pulls, because I'm VIP to play Damo,
Lies.
so if I save these jewels and then pull for her, and then like right afterwards, Lost makes a video and he pops up in the Discord, it's like, bruh, let me tell you what. Like, no.
He's gonna be like Ava Prime and shit like that. Watch, bro.
Hey, I'm about to pop in like I did with my copy medals. Like, hey guys, look what I got.
Dude, I wanted to drive down to North Carolina and kick you in the nuts for that.
Hey,
If I can go back to KH3 for just a second. I was
Yeah.
reading up on an interview on KH Insider. It said that there was a IGM stream, and it said it confirmed that the main world bosses within KH3 will not be revealed before the game's launch.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Well, that's
The main
fine.
world bosses. Okay.
I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, I don't
Oh,
care.
all the Disney ones are kind of obvious, but
It's Mickey
Unless-
noted.
But that-
original characters as the main bosses at Disney Worlds, which would be kind of strange. But I guess
I
it's good.
feel like it should just like aren't the organization members going to be the main bosses, the ones that got quote unquote.
They're probably
noted
gonna do the
for
same
the
thing like
LP?
KH2 and you know have like
Yeah, do 2 laps.
yeah exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Well, if
don't
that's the case,
understand
they
how
kind of already
they.
spoiled a few Luxords.
I
And
mean, yeah,
Pirates.
looks clearly going to be.
Nympho is in Frozen.
Nympho. That's
I
your
don't
bae,
remember
man. Why you
calling her what her name is.
why are you talking about her like that? That's your bae.
That is not my day.
Are you guys happy with the new worlds though, like Tangled and Frozen?
Oh
Like,
hell yeah!
I actually haven't seen
Yeah.
them yet.
I'm happy with it.
I'm
I'm gonna
not-
have
I
to
mean,
go back and
I mean, they
watch
look
these.
all right.
like to me,
Monsters
it's
Inc.
like-
I'm happy for.
Oh,
Monsters
hell
Toy Story
yeah.
I'm happy for.
For
But
that.
to me, it's like the most uninteresting shit to be entangled. It's like, why? I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Look,
Well, I
I,
think in every game there was that one world that no one really wanted
Don't
to go
forget
to.
though, too. I mean, honestly, like, so the worlds we've seen aren't guaranteed to be the only ones in there. I mean, I'm
Oh,
betting
yeah.
that we're going to see a lot more than just the ones they've shown off.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
there's
for
going to be Big
instance,
Hero
like,
6 in the next trailer.
I'm so campy
I
with
mean,
Hero 6.
yeah,
I'm so campy.
there's that one there too. But I mean, don't forget, like, let's take for instance, Dream Drop Distance, dude. I want to see a PS4 version of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know, in France, and I really want to see the
Oui, oui.
Fantasia world. I would love to see the Fantasia world make a comeback on like Kingdom Hearts 3, because with the amount of power and graphic power that system's gonna have, I can imagine that world will look all kinds of trippy and just amazing. So that kind of stuff I do expect to see hopefully in 3.
I can't remember the name of the city that's in Tangled. For some reason, I'm just drawing a
I've
blank.
never even seen
But
Tangled.
that city's
Me
gonna
either.
be kind of
neither.
large. I think they mentioned. So
But like,
I
I,
mean-
would have preferred like Moana over Tangled, to be honest.
I would have loved Moana, but
Moana's way more interesting in my opinion than Tangled.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool, Moana.
You never know.
Moana's
I mean, they might
badass,
pop
bro.
like Aaron said. I mean, we haven't seen all the worlds yet, so
well, with Moana, it would be kind of difficult because where exactly would you go?
I
'Cause
don't know.
most of
Guys.
the movie she spends on a raft, so
Mm.
I
Well,
do.
well,
I guess
Yeah.
you could go to the realm of monsters.
You had to think too as well that Cage 3 has been in production for what over 10 years now, so it might have been too late for them to add Moana into it.
Yeah, yeah.
They said the cutoff was Big Hero 6, so anything after that wasn't included.
Well, they could.
Yeah.
put
Was
DLC.
Frozen before all those?
Frozen?
Big Hero 6, I think, was
Frozen's
the
after-
last one.
I think so. I can't remember.
Or they could even do
Been
an
around for a
Incredibles.
while.
Bro. Incredibles been out since what 2004.
Oh, that'd be badass. Fighting
Wow.
alongside them.
I mean, we did have a crossover with it, so forever, for all we
You know,
know, that could actually be a world in there.
You know, San
Of course
Francisco
you
is
would
gonna be
have
a fucking huge ass city
San
to
Francisco,
explore.
yeah, badass, bro.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for two worlds: Treasure Planet and Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
I would
It needs
love
to
it,
both
man.
work.
You are going to be disappointed.
Atlantis would be awesome.
Even like the
Atlantis. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I would love to see the Atlantis world because that entire environment has so much potential to be an awesome world. And I know that I'm going to get some massive shit for this, but I can give all of 0 fucks for Treasure Planet. I have no interest in seeing Treasure Planet come out there. I would
I
prefer to
haven't
see
even seen it.
Atlantis or I don't know, maybe like a different space one, maybe. I don't know, something like more out of the planet would be kind of cool too as well.
Oh, they could do Lilo and Stitch because he's from space. They could put it on his planet.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say they could do the
Well,
planet,
they
but not
kinda-
like
they kinda did
the
in,
spaceship
yes.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they should just do
But
like
yeah, I think
Oliver,
that'd be awesome.
Oliver and Company bring that shit to New York, right, Lost?
Hell yeah, man. Make sure they got Tim's on.
Well, I heard that they were gonna have Jungle Book finally in the game because I know there was
See,
Jungle Book was supposed to be in Birth by Sleep, but they cut it.
well, we already got Tarzan. They're very similar, right?
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
can't put
I
in
mean,
any
that-
more future Cux games in general.
What's
I
going
know
to be
Nomura-
their Halloween Town replacement? Because we've been there so many times. I feel
Nah,
like
we
the
gotta
story
continue
for
going to
that-
Halloween Town though. Halloween
You
Town.
think so?
I
mean,
think
like
so.
people have been asking for Dr. Facilier to be in this game for a long time as a villain. So they may do Princess and the Frog. You never know.
Maybe.
I have to check
Maybe.
that movie out. I haven't seen it.
It's not all that good. The only thing good about that movie is the villain. I'm just gonna be honest.
Do we even know if Kingdom Hearts still has the rights to use the Nightmare Before Christmas?
It
I mean, they
does.
still
Well,
use
I
it in
can,
JP, right?
I don't know if they still do.
yeah,
Isn't that
that's
the big
good point.
issue? Like, that's why we couldn't get half of the medals over here.
I
Like,
don't
you guys are talking about Halloween Town in Union Cross before, and I was like, I don't know if that's possible. Because if we can't even get the friggin' medals, there's no way we can have all those licensed
Well,
characters.
you got a point actually. Damn.
Yeah, I,
mean,
think
but
their
it's-
contract might have ended just like Tarzan did.
Why not just relicense?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
It's
my thing.
expensive.
Might not
They're
like
like, how much do you want for it now? Oh, how big is Kingdom Hearts 3 going to be now? Oh, okay, we're going to charge you this much then.
Because
Well, I mean, honestly, here's the thing with that one. In a way, I would actually kind of like Square Enix telling that to Disney, considering how stingy Disney has been with their licensing. On the flip side, Square Enix is super stingy with their music. I mean, they charge a stupid amount of money to have their music played in other games or just involved in something else, like a lot. I think for Smash Brothers, they paid a stupid amount of money to have the FS7 world and music in there for Cloud's world on Midgard. It was like ridiculous.
What?
Well, it wouldn't pertain to this because they're developing the game themselves, right? So
So you think
in
that
terms
there's
of, in terms of Disney though, I mean, Square Enix is probably telling Disney, like, if you want your game or your character in our bigger game it's gonna make money, you need to be able to do this, or vice versa. It could be Disney telling Square Enix, hey, if you want our characters in or this particular character or setting in your game, you need to pay us X amount of money. Just change it out there.
I remember reading an article and Nomura said that the worlds he wants to be like every world to feel unique. So there's not going to be 3 different jungle worlds. So we're not going to see
exactly.
Tarzan, Jungle Book, and Tangled. Tangled is the jungle world. We're gonna have the city world of San Francisco. Pirates will be the ocean world.
As long as we don't
But-
go back to Atlantica, bro, I'm fine. We'll do whatever you guys.
God, yes.
Hey, if
Oh,
we're
who's
gonna go
world?
back underwater, let's go to fucking Finding Nemo.
They
I'm
can
not
do
gonna
fine.
lie, I'm kind of hype about the prospect of fighting Davy Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, like the one thing I'm happy about Atlantica maybe not being in the world is that Ariel's a summon, and hopefully because she's a summon, she won't show up in, that world won't show up in the actual game.
Now I'm just waiting for
Hopefully.
Pooh Bear to be a summon because I ain't trying to go back over there either.
Right.
I think
I didn't
Pirates of the
like that.
Caribbean is going to be
That's some,
the
that's
water
some
world
good,
scene.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I was hyped for Pirates of the Caribbean.
That actually terrifies me a little bit because me and sea monsters don't go well together at all. I hate water niggas with a fucking passion. And I know the Kraken's dead in the storyline, but how the game works is they could be like, oh hey, he turned the Kraken into a big ass heartless.
He's gonna get the Kraken's
I
gonna
would
get
love
Norded.
that.
He's gonna get Norded.
Like fuck, please no. And
Kraken
the
or-
big ass Maelstrom, because didn't they show something about that Maelstrom in the trailer, the big ass whirlpool, when the ships are circling around it? Like they could do a fight on that shit in the
Well,
game.
didn't they say that the one of the longest boss battles is going to be in the Pirates of the Caribbean world? Because they showed you
Fuck no.
find the thing.
No.
Well,
That
that
could
was
be,
that flying monster thing that had like 17.
There's a lot of it. That could be a
HP
heartless
bars, so-
version of the giant squid.
Oh
Yeah, I'm fine
wait,
with
that's the same creature from
It's the one from Days, yeah.
from Days that you had to fight. That was a piece of shit and took
That
fucking
was a
forever. to
fucking horrific, awful fight. Fucking
So I'm gonna
piece
ask
of
this.
shit.
There's
What you mean?
the
That's the best
community's
fight
kind
ever.
of split on this topic. What do you guys feel about Marvel and Star Wars being in Kingdom?
I'm with it.
No,
bro.
no,
Nah,
fuck no.
nah,
No.
I don't see them fitting in it.
nah.
Think about it.
I
in the
don't-
beginning, like,
I
did
don't
it?
think
Did,
that-
did any of it ever fit though? Like, if you think about it, like, it's just a mashup. So I don't see why not. Like, I'd love it, like a world on Tatooine or some shit like that of Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'd love it.
Oh, I mean, I
Even
love
in
Star Wars,
Bayhawks.
but it would be
It'll just be off.
kind of odd this sort of fighting Darth Vader.
Imagine a lightsaber keyblade though. Would be
I
so
mean, the
badass.
prospect
Simple,
of that
Xundus.
sounds cool.
We
Yeah.
have that.
The prospect
Xundus
of that
basically uses
does
lightsabers,
sound
so-
cool.
And No Name
Right.
is basically a half lightsaber, half keyblade.
You
Sure.
wouldn't want to use any other fucking keyblade. If you for real get a lightsaber keyblade, you wouldn't want to use any
Give me
other
those
keyblade.
Keyblade, let's go.
Only if it has the right sound effects.
Zoom,
like,
zoom,
bruh.
zoom.
I'm not so worried about like the Keyblades and the enemies as much as I would be the story. Like, how are you gonna make a story for Star Wars with?
Plus, there's something always weird about real characters split between like Donald and Goofy being in that shit, and like Sora ain't all the way human, realistic looking, and it's just weird when you put them together. It's like I don't.
Just imagine
This hurts my
Sora
eyes.
in like a stormtrooper suit with giant ass clown shoes. Like, that'd be the weirdest looking stormtrooper of all
Give
time.
Sora the Jedi
But
robe,
could they aim? That'd be the question. Could they aim?
right?
No, that'd be the easiest world
You
ever.
can take any damage to the entire world. You just waltz through it. As he was shooting all around you the entire time. You're like, I haven't taken any damage this entire time.
See, but
I
they
mean,
can,
like,
they can explain that now. Did you guys ever play the Uncharted series?
My girlfriend has.
Yeah.
So did you guys hear what the developer came out and said recently, that technically
It's
your
really
character
cool.
never gets shot? That
It's
your
still
character
luck
is so
decreasing, yeah.
lucky. He's so lucky that they actually missed the shot, so they couldn't do that with the stormtroopers. Like, these characters are so lucky they just dodge every shot. The fuck? I've stood in front of people's face and they shot me in the face. No, I got shot. Stop. It's stupid. Stop. I hated that excuse. It's so bad.
I think
mean,
the problem
like-
with Star Wars, right? Oh yeah, go on.
No. First,
So when you in Kingdom Hearts, you go to a world, right, and you drop into a world, this isolated little area. With Star Wars, you're sort of looking at an entire universe. So it's not like the entire Star Wars universe sort of fits into this one little speck on the map that you would drop into in Kingdom Hearts wise.
Yeah.
It would basically, you'd have to
But
pick
I mean,
one world, which would probably be like the Death Star or something.
Yeah, but then is it really a Star Wars universe then if it's just like you're at the Death Star?
Well, they could tie
I
it
mean,
to
I
the
guess-
gummy ship somehow, right? The gummy ship fight the Death Star or some shit like that.
Yeah, I could see
I'd be
that.
cool
I
with
could see
that,
you
yeah.
flying through an X-wing fleet or something. I don't know.
That'd be dope, bro. Yeah.
I think I'd
I mean,
be
they
more-
kind of got around that in with like Lilo and Stitch. You sort of just rock up to their spaceship floating in the middle of space. Like, it's
Oh
not
yeah.
truly
Yeah,
a
like
world
so
per
that could be
se.
like the Monstro type of experience, the Monstro or the Captain Hook
I could do
kind of
that.
experience where you're like in your gummy ship and then oh shit, here we go.
It tracks it like
You
a
track
tractor
the beams
beam.
into the Death Star. Okay, I'm aboard
They
again.
could do they could do the Emperor on Star Wars as like some giant heartless kind of thing, like the force thing. I mean, they can do all kinds of things for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Star Wars would be
Lightning
cool, right?
resistance.
And then if
If-
they do like Marvel with the Avengers, they could have a fucking Thanos
Thanos.
sorted, right? Like Thanos.
Nah, bruh, nah.
It's
Thanos
not the
is
singer,
too
it'll be
OP
fun.
to get Norded, bro.
They could Nord
Thanos
Hulk
is
or
too
some shit
OP
like
for
that.
that
They'll
shit.
figure something out, bro.
They would do like the Red Skull. The Red Skull would think that or Loki. You know, he like, hey, look, I have the Tesseract, and he tries to summon the army, but instead it's some kind of giant heartless that like
Yeah, imagine.
starts
Bro.
causing mayhem
Okay,
or
they
something.
obviously wouldn't get Norded because they know it's going to die in Cage 3 and he's not going to be enforced, so.
Yeah.
Don't worry
This
about that.
dude is gonna turn out to be somebody's lackey by the end. He's gonna get banged.
Yeah, because didn't they say that
Master
that
of
this
Masters, guarantee.
yeah, because
Oh, yeah, I
didn't they
agree.
say that this wasn't the last KH3 or Kingdom Hearts? I mean,
No. What he said was this was the end of the Xehanort saga, but Sora's adventures are not over after.
Right.
This fucker turns out to be a good guy. I swear to God.
The only problem is 4 on the PS like 6 and shit, bro. Watch.
the PS6. What the fuck?
It's gonna
Can't wait to play Kingdom Hearts 4 in my wheelchair in my retirement home.
right.
Hell yeah, I'll be 40 years old. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 8.
And they don't really have a handheld to back up on, because remember when they dropped like Birth by Sleep, they had the PSP, and then they got 3.5 whatever.
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance, the DS, the
DS,
PSP.
but now it's just mobile, and we already have khux, so it's like,
Can you imagine
Okay,
Kingdom Hearts 4 in mobile? Like, you gotta buy this phone to play it.
oh my god, right?
They'd get some people.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
And
than me.
if they put out a Switch title, I'm buying it.
Switch, imagine, right? Oh, they could do it on Switch. You're right.
I'm saying
I
that.
ain't buying a Switch.
There's precedent. There's precedent for it.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
Nintendo
buy
would have to shell out a lot of money.
I like how we're
Again,
giving. I like how it's like we're talking to developers and we're giving them ideas. Like, hey, you can do this and that and everything else.
Yeah. On the off chance that anyone at Square Enix is listening to this, please don't listen to our ideas.
They're not. Don't worry.
They're not right. Lacey's,
Yeah,
she's
they don't listen to the community.
Yeah, like the only supposedly feedback they listen to is whatever BS survey it is they're gonna be releasing whenever.
Yeah, the one that's
Yeah.
coming out next week. We should. That's gonna be interesting.
Damo,
I think-
what kind of feedback is a free to play player that is actually like saves your jewels and has concerns that aren't bullshit, you know,
Alright, so-
for the community?
The reason you don't want to piss off free to play too much is because you guys, I mean, you've expressed it before, and I completely understand why. You love stomping the shit out of some weak little bastard that can't defend himself, right? You
wait
love
to play
nothing
Damo.
more than loading up your powerful Keyblade, and you go, he doesn't even have a defense boost on there. He forgot to put a defense, and you score like 130 million points, and you laugh your ass off.
130.
Yeah, or and the rest, right?
Just FYI, that was
Sorry,
Papa
400.
Artis that said that. So
No, don't put that shit just on me. And I
saying, the
only say that to people that like do nothing but complain.
But I'm saying the general feeling, though. I mean, that's why people pay into games like this, right? I mean, you like being on top of the ladder. You like having feelings. So you need the free-to-play players to be in there, so you have that feeling of like, oh shit, yeah, I'm getting what I paid for here, which is an experience that the rest of them don't have, which is completely understandable. You know, you do whatever you want in your free time with your money, and in this case, it happens to be, you know, supporting a series that you care a lot about. So I completely understand it. But at the same time, if free-to-play players are like, this is literally not even fun at all, and they all just leave in droves, which is not going to happen. There's always going to be a dedicated community around this game, simply because, you know, how long has this series been around for now?
hell, like 15
We're all
years.
still here, so
Players.
exactly, we're all still here. So
But Damon, the
Um,
question I have for you is, as a free-to-play player, what do you tell people when an OP banner comes out plus the avatar boards, though?
hmm.
And you need the skills, right? You need the skills, you need the gems, you need all of that. Like, that's tough.
Yeah.
I always feel like when I started JP, I was free to play, and it was always my issue. Like, do I pull from this banner or do I get these skills? That sucks.
I would look at what I currently have. Like, if I had a really good medal with good traits, I would say go for the avatar board because you're gonna get a skill that makes that medal so much better.
It's
If you pull a
always
new
the
medal
case
and you
of
don't have a skill, the medal's not very good.
Like, Damo, do you normally buy all the avatar boards with all your jewels?
no,
A lot of
I don't. And like the last, I actually only bought one out of the trio that we just had, the HPO trio, and I do regret that. I wish I'd gotten more.
I only got
Um,
one too.
I got two.
because
Got three.
Fucking
but
well.
I think it's like what's going to improve your game the most. Like if you can invest 15,000 jewels. It was like I said in my video yesterday, I spent 15,000 or 12,000 on Xion EX Plus. It didn't boost my strength in this game as much as I usually would have liked. Like, I don't know. Usually, if I spend 15,000 in Mercy of Metal, it's really going to help improve me. Like I know Roxas and Xion, for example, I got so much out of that banner, it's ridiculous. Or the Incredibles banner, even though the medals themselves weren't great, it was half to get those medals and half to do well in the high score challenge, which I see huge potential for Bob and Jack Jack. So I don't know if the skill is not. I don't know if you're getting all the boards is for the sake of all the boards. Probably not. But like I never get the male and female as much as I like to. I only ever get the male and only ever then like half the time just because, unless it's a really 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 good avatar board.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just got to make a hard choices.
There have been avatar boards that the skills were completely passable on. Like there might be
Yeah.
one
If it's
decent
just like
skill.
Yeah, like the current one, the Pirates one that came for JP this morning. It has DB5. Actually, let me check right here. So yeah, so it has DB5, Lux, and Attack Boost 7, but it's not max. And then the new
Not max,
skill,
yeah.
the new skill at SB Gauge 1, Attack Boost 7 max.
See,
So it's like,
yeah.
so it's like,
Okay.
it's okay, but if you really just don't need skills, it's an easy skip.
Well,
Yeah.
like Bob and Jack Jack was 9 gauges, right? I rolled EA on it, so I have an AB5 max SP2 on them, so I need that, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody who's transitioning from like used to be whaling a lot, and now I'm transitioning to VIP only. It's like shit. I get VIP Monday, and it's like, do I save up for a banner or do I pull? Because I need that skill, you know?
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, you're getting that really, really good skill on top of a couple other things. You get some mirrors, some Chippendales, so on, and a couple skills that aren't really good, but you could use them later. But that one skill is you're paying 2,500 for.
It's a lot, yeah, bro.
It's a lot, but on the flip side, you're saving jewels. You're saving 3,000 for a pole. That pole could end up being shit, and then
Yeah.
3,000's down the drain, where you could have spent 2,500 on a skill that'll last you months.
Honestly, the way these banners are coming out now, though, where you're getting, I wouldn't necessarily say for the defense skills, but if you need attack medals, even though, like, if an avatar board has, like, a attack boost 6 or 7, SP 0 or 2 or some shit like that, then obviously the avatar board is more worth it. But outside of attack boost 7s, if you really, really need it for some OP shit, because it's going to improve your game that much more, either for PvE or PvP content. With the way they're dropping skills in pulls and shit now, every single time you do a pull, if you get AB6 maxes back to back or a couple of AB5 SP1s, that can do you pretty well for a while on some pretty dope shit until like you can save a little
very good
extra
point.
when ain't shit going on for avatar board.
Those new banners are OP, bro. I love
Well,
it.
I
Except
never-
if it's that one that Meow Wow one that was like 7,500 jewels.
Yeah, like if it's some shit like that,
That's a
then yeah, that's a 100%.
I know you guys bought both of them, didn't you?
I never buy any of them. That was.
I didn't buy
I'm
them.
free to play. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I saw some people that bought those. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Can I fight you in PvP?
Lost got it, bro. I'm pretty sure Lost got it. You got one.
I got both of them. I got both of them.
I don't know what you're
The
talking
silence says a lot.
about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't even remember what they came with because I totally just skipped it. I was like, I'm not.
They had a lot in them, but it wasn't worth 7,500.
It's a
in
lot.
my
of money.
opinion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of that's worth that.
It's like
that
$100
amount.
for 2 avatar
The
boards.
fuck was that?
Like you could have bought the entire HPO trio and you would have gotten 3 DB4 maxes, couple attack skills, with the same amount of jewels. I think that would have been a better investment.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Prop said, having the skills in the banners, while they're not the best skills in the game, they're plenty to hold you over until something really good comes out. So.
Yeah, plus most of the shit that we get that most people can evolve to a 7-star or tier 5s and tier 6s, maybe a tier 7, and like a lot of people have brought up before, you don't want to be one of these people that's like, oh man, I'm gonna waste all my AB7s and AB7, attack gauge 0 and shit on some AB5s, and then they drop a heater of a tier 7 or a tier 8, and you're like, fuck, bro, I just wasted this good one on here, and then you get your tier 8 medals, and you don't have like the OP skill to put on your super OP, real top tier hard hitting medal. Like, I saved those attack boost 7s and any kind of SP cost on them for my tier 8s and shit.
Yeah, I still have an AB7 SP2 sitting in my inventory. Then I haven't put on anything yet because
I just spent mine on my Bob and Jack Jack.
I was thinking about putting it on my Scar because Scar is one of my strongest medals with boosted strength and EA.
But he's also a tier 7 medal too, so it's not a waste for someone like him. You know what I mean?
No, it wouldn't have been a waste.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I am definitely gonna put an 87 SP1 on my Syax.
What?
I'm gonna put one of those new 87 max SP gauge ones with avatar boards on my Syax. That's gonna go really well for that one.
I got 3 of them because I bought the entire HBO trio, and I put one on my Proxys and my Syax, and I still have one. I'm gonna put one of the new ones from this avatar boards on my Invisible, most definitely. And what I need to start doing is putting AB6s on all my copy medals because some of them still have.
Yeah, same. I still had AB4s on mine, and I just recently upgraded mine to AB6. And it definitely makes a little difference.
Last podcast, the beginner's deal is not one to be skipped on because eventually they're going to take it out. I splurged on it last week. Absolutely do not regret that whatsoever. I mean, yeah, I could have definitely used those 12,000 jewels I spent, but the fact that my backwards copy medals are now stacked, there's tier 5, and they're still doing me great a year and a half after they came out.
Yeah.
Copy definitely. Yeah, I put 87 max on Nominee and 87 max on my bonds. It goes great. I mean, they do. I have no regrets at all.
No regrets.
One question I have for Damo is, like, as a free-to-play player, like, what is... Because I know we joke about it, and I especially joke about it a lot, but, like, on a serious note, as someone who is dedicated to not putting in any money to it and just saving everything, like, what are changes that you personally, as someone who is on that side of the fence, would like to see implemented that would make sense and doesn't just come off as... oh, I want this or I want that, and I want to be as good as a whale without spending the money that they do.
That's the point, right? It's like, how do you come across as trying to implement changes without, saying like you got your hand reached out going, gimme. I don't know. I mean, I think effort should be rewarded, and I think for the most part it is in this game, but there are certain times, I don't even know. Like, sometimes I get really happy with it where it's like, okay, I struggle for a while, but it's usually because I'm in really big saving mode and I just want a really good banner to come out. And then I'll pull on that banner and then I'll feel really powerful again for a while. I think PvP has really changed that though. Like, you can get behind in PvP and you just can't make up the distance anymore because once you're entrenched and you got the 7-star medals, I mean, like I said, that's why I made these graphs going, even some of the weaker, if you had nothing but only tier 7 7-star medals, you would wipe the floor with everything else. Like a free-to-play or a cheap-to-play player could ever come up with. And again, once you get entrenched in there and you've got enough tickets where you can evolve a variety of medals, that's it. It's just over.
So when it comes to PvP, do you think it should be for free-to-play players, the people who have limited, jewels and everything, do you think it should be like in the case of maybe Lady Luck, where you kind of just say like, okay, because we were talking about this last week to a degree. Just look at it to a degree where it's like, okay, I'm gonna take a hit this week because I don't have this, and this. But boy, let them do a Keyblade with this one week, and it's about to be fire. Like, just everybody about to catch these hands. Like, should it be one of those?
Yeah, if you treat it like a mini high score challenge where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna take a loss this week. I'm not gonna be able to participate in it. That's fine, but exactly. You don't spread out your resources so thinly across every attribute. The second you get more gems, it's like, okay, I better invest them into this week's Keyblade. No, forget about that. Just try and focus in, okay, these are the 3 that I'm really good at, or here's the handful that I'm really good at. If I just keep powering up those, and I don't know, keep my fingers crossed. Sorry, guys.
You know what I'd kind of just realized though, if you really think about it, it's kind of shitty, like thinking about it after the fact. But since most of these banners that they release, if you are smart with your jewels and you don't like do a lucky pull and see if you get it 7-star to get the medal at all. Most of the medals that they come out with for every banner, unless it's like a nominee, which doesn't need to be 7-starred, or a Kyrie X, Gianni X, it doesn't need to be 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if you really think about it, even though, you know, fairy godmothers and stuff are rarer in the game, if you're just pulling on those for the mercy pulls, you're getting a bunch of guaranteed 7 stars anyway for whatever tier you're going for. So if your goal is to just have fun with the game, or you're trying to do Coliseum, or you're trying to pass a quest, PvP isn't that big of a deal, because at a certain point PvP literally only matters if you're trying to upgrade 7 and 8 tier medals, honestly. And at the rate that they're dropping shit, unless it's a copy medal, because that's really the only ones outside of the organization events that they've done that are coming out. If that's how you decide to pull and debate on what you're doing, if you're just doing PvE content, then the struggle to be like, man, I want to be better in PvP shouldn't be as drastic, because you're getting tier 7, you're getting 7 stars anyway. You're getting a chance at a 7-star Terra B that fucking hits like a goddamn animal in PvP, like regardless. Especially if you get them boosted, because you got a chance to get them boosted in this. Like you may end up getting medals that can do better for rating for you, that you maybe didn't have before. You didn't have Guilted, or you had a couple copies that you didn't put together yet because you were waiting to have enough to put them all together and trait and guilt, and you got just straight away guilt, and maybe you get extra attack on some shit, and maybe you got Lux on this one, and that's a good rating medal for you. So I feel like from a free-to-play perspective, and this is just me as a VIP, sometimes I put extra money into the game. But as someone looking at it from that perspective, I feel like if you're going at the game as far as that's concerned, and you're not trying to be super competitive and do all of this extra shit outside of a high score challenge, and like really be concerned with PvP, because like I said, those 2 tiers are really the only ones that matter right now, then the fairy godmothers don't matter as much as they would, say, if they were doing nothing but dropping heater ass tier 8s like back to back to back.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, 100% agree. That's the problem with the Organization 13 banners now. It's like, okay, that medal's great and everything, and in theory at 7 stars it might be amazing. Like Sykes, Lexaeus Plus are in theory some of the, you know, probably top 5 medals in the entire game. But the problem is, how do you upgrade that to? The majority of players simply cannot upgrade those things to 7-star. Like I've literally earned, I'm a decent player, nothing great, but I've only earned 5 tier 8 fairies the entire time, and I put them straight into Bob and Jack because, like, on paper it is the best medal, like tied with Sora and Simba as the best medal in the entire game. So I think, yeah, you're 100% correct. Like the prime banners, where it's like, okay, 15,000 jewels, you're going to be getting a 7-star with 5 traits attached to it. That represents incredible value. And I'm at the point now where I haven't pulled on an Organization 13 banner in months, because it's like, well, this is not going to help me out at all. Like, I'll have the medal, that's great, but it won't help me out damage wise. I'll have to upgrade it for that to happen. The primes act as better AoEs than an unupgraded Axel Plus. They act as way better single targets than an unupgraded, you know, like say S Plus. So why do I need to pull off those, basically?
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but I mentioned for the free-to-play people, just to take the loss a couple weeks in PvP. I mean, if you get a couple lucky silvers, that's great. But if you're free-to-play, just save your jewels until you can make the power move. Like, if you were to spend all of your jewels right now on Roxas and Riku, you'd get a damn good medal. That medal can do a hell of a lot for you in PvP. But if you're one of those free-to-play people that want to pull on everything and do one pull on every single banner for whatever dumbass reason, you're never going to progress.
Well, I mean, I think a part of that is every single time you get 3,000 jewels, it goes, go to the shop right now. It literally puts a big banner in front of your face and says, let's try go to the shop. I think that used to be a huge thing for me. Like, I was literally counting down the days until I could pull again. I was like, all right, well, by Monday, I'll earn this many more jewels, and then I can go to the shop and do 3,000 jewel pull. And I didn't even understand the saving mentality at all. It was just, okay, I can pull again. Okay, I can pull again. And this is before mercies really became a big thing. But like once I got over that mindset of, okay, there's no point pulling until I have enough for a mercy, then my game changed drastically. Like drastically. It was just like, I don't know, they don't help you, man. Every single day it's a new banner, and it's like, man, look at all these different things you can try to pull on. Your party members will be showing you all these amazing medals, and you're like, oh man, this might be my time.
And the beauty of social media, where you see that first
Yes,
pull luck,
exactly.
and you're like, oh, I need that.
Yeah, and I don't really
Exactly.
help in that either. So.
I mean,
Well, no,
neither do I, to be
anyone on
honest.
social
Neither do
media
I.
or Discord
I'll
is
do a
nothing.
pull video. Like I got Namine, Haitian Namine when she was first released. Outside of a mercy, I got Kari EX. I got Kari EX Plus. I'm like, this really shouldn't be happening here. I'm not really a bastion for my own advice here, going just wait because it shouldn't happen to you. I'm like, I mean, I joke,
Honestly,
I go, maybe
though,
my account's marked.
If anybody could have gotten it, like I was happy to see you get it. If there,
me
anybody
too.
could have gotten it, I was happy to see you get it. Because I'm like, for
Appreciate
all of the shit that you do, and especially like they mentioned earlier in the podcast, especially that breakdown you did a while back about this is how many jewels you can save. These are the potential events you can do that they might drop. This is how many jewels you can expect to have before Kyrie releases, etc. Like the fact that you do all of that shit, and like I can understand wanting to go a little bit extra, but I'm glad out of if anyone could have gotten it, that you were one of the people that got it.
I appreciate that.
Damn,
I'm not
kiss his
saying I don't
ass.
deserve it. I'm just saying that.
I mean,
I don't know, but
one
like,
of
I
the,
think,
one of
Yeah,
the things you
Sam.
said earlier, it was that you didn't feel that that getting Shion really changed your game, all that much. I mean, I guess in terms of like PvE content, it didn't, but in terms of PvP content, I think you're gonna go a lot further now, a lot easier with having two medals at least with both the Kyrie and Shion on it. So in that regard, I mean, I think it definitely helped you out there. So I was really glad to see you get it because of that reason. Like now you can go further in PvP. Get more,
that was my
get more
logic. It was 100% a PvP decision.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I could I think I could have made up most of the buffs by, I mean, like Roxas and Shion Prime do, from the speed side, most of the buffs that she does anyway, right? Like you get the same 80% guild boost. You obviously don't get the counters back, but and the gauges back. But in terms of like your speed and your reverse, you get most of that out anyway. And you could have made up the difference with a few other medals along the way. But it just makes it a hell of a lot easier, right? Like especially if you get debuffed, then you don't have to worry about that. It's like, okay, pop the Shion Plus at the front of the turn, and then you're right back up to maximum again. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they're a lot better to have than to not have, but I wouldn't say they're as necessary as the first Kyrie and Shion EX medals were.
Mm.
For sure. I have a question for PvP though. Do you guys think that it would benefit free-to-play players if they actually, like, if they minimize the amount of blades per week, like if they just put one blade per week?
No, because that means that if you can just get easily mopped that way.
Because
You get
Because
mopped
there
either
are.
way.
No, because there's people who rely, even though, like I've said last week, they're kind of sort of getting us away from the stun effect abilities in PvP, because people are getting real smart with where they're placing their Kyrie and Shions and shit. So it's like now if you go in with one of them buff setups because you're like, oh snap, I got him, I'm about to stun the shit out of this motherfucker and shit. Like, but most people now got like they Kyrie on their third slot, and then everything after that is like extra attack. So you best come with that damage. Like you best have that one medal that can stun them, and everything else better be a heater, or you still gonna get fucked in PvP, pretty much. And a lot of people can't do that if it's just one. If it's just one setup, you can't do that. And part of the whole thing with PvP is playing a mental mind game with other players. Like shit, what Keyblade is first? What do they maybe have on this? Because you hate it when you go in and you're like, okay, I'm about to rock them with the first setup, I'm about to do like some pretty good damage on the second, then that third one I got him, and then you stroll in and like they ain't got shit on their first Keyblade, and you're like, God damn it, I just wasted.
I jokingly told Aaron about a player in top 100 that I think it was his missing ache. His first blade was really strong, so put your weakest here first. You'll definitely beat this guy.
Yeah.
I also mentioned to Aaron this morning that they've had tier 5 7-star prime medals for a good month now. They're probably getting ready to go into tier 6. There aren't many tier 6 medals. So tier 6 will probably be pretty short-lived. Games going to get real interesting when they go to tier 7. So if you're free to play, save till we get tier 7 prime medals, because you know those are going to be the ones that everyone wants and are going to be insanely powerful.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, we haven't had how many tier 5
So we've
primes
only
have we
had a few tier 5s.
Yeah,
Like
at least 3.
I understand the mentality, but we had a lot of tier 4 primes. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Riku, not Riku and Roxas Prime, Roxas Prime, Mr. Incredible technically counts, even though I wouldn't consider him a Prime. But
Yeah, but he was
I don't
only.
think so,
Oh, never
no.
mind, never mind, never mind.
I mean, the Toy Story medals are technically Prime medals too, if
Yeah.
you want to think about it. So
They're 100% are. They're key out 17, just in different attribute.
yeah,
Well, you know,
And-
they say Prime in the title, so yeah.
Yeah, but
I would.
remember what they did with that EX Sora, the KH3 EX Sora, and it was pretty much an O2 medal. Remember back in the day when they gave us that with VIP?
Yeah.
They lie sometimes. Remember that shit? Everybody was upset.
Yeah. I'm probably going, like, I would say they're probably going to release, because technically Axel Kai, or whatever you want to call him, is like the reverse power prime, if you really want to call him that. He technically is. He's just a tier 8.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
Wait, and they,
team one?
yeah, the Organization 13 one. That's technically what he is. But they still need the upright magic one. So that's probably what they would release, and then maybe go
They've got
into
upright
tier
magic.
6.
Upright power?
Yeah, upright power. Yeah, that's what I meant. They need to do
'cause
upright power, and then perhaps we'll go into tier 6.
Well, even if they did 3 or 4 more tier 5s, that just gives you more time to save for the tier 7s.
Yeah,
So more time
Yeah,
to
'cause
save
if-
is always better for free to play.
because if anything shows you anything, we didn't have nearly any tier 6s, boy.
There
They
are not
skipped
very many.
straight to tier 7.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Very true.
With the amount of tier 6 fairies that I've gotten, if I get 5 more, or however many more I need to get the next one, I have no idea what I'm going to evolve, because there's nothing for me to evolve. That's how few tier 6s are actually in the game.
They could not wait to hop, skip, and jump straight into tier 7. Seriously.
I know.
Oh, there's a lot of damn good tier 7s, so I can see
Yeah.
why.
Because they ran straight to the foretellers and like, okay, we got to make these things stand out. So
And there's
Bam,
Genie
200%
and
guilt
Herc and
bonus. Yeah.
But shoot, even for Wales, I think it's a struggle to even get tier 7s or tier 8s. Even if you get a gold tick, I mean, the chance of still getting them are low.
I'm curious though, like, what is the driving force behind? Fuck, no, I kind of, sort of, might have an idea what they're gonna do though. But you just said it, there aren't that many tier 6s, right?
No.
No, tier 6s was pretty. I'm looking at it right
There's
now.
not that many. Like, what they're probably going to do, if I had to guess, they're probably gonna do what they've been doing with with the Shion, the Final Form Shion and the Roxas EX, because they didn't last that long, right? They were like 2 or 3 day.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
banners
about.
and then
Yeah.
dipped. So they'll probably keep doing those in between the prime tier 5s coming out. So it's like, here, we got these just in case you're not getting any of the tier 6s. You can't get a silver or a gold ticket. We got these tier 6s, and a good way to incentivize people getting them is making them percentages in high score challenges, because it always makes people pull if they don't have them. You end up doing that, and then you get your tier 6s out of the way with that way, and you have all your tier 5 primes. So by the time they line up around the same time when it ends, then boom, drop tier 7 prime medals on everybody.
And what was
Well-
the best tier 6 medal aside from like any copy medals we got? Was like Final Form Shion.
Aqua B.
One that we
Final
always
Yeah,
Form
Aqua B.
Shion.
Aqua
The
B
thing
are probably the
about
best one.
Aqua is
Aqua
that
B.
When Aqua came out,
Just
remember,
Aqua B's
Link-
really good, but just above it is Illustrated, Goofy, and Donald.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
that's right.
Yeah.
But they're
then-
high score challenge medals though.
a lot
Yes.
of people skip Aqua B,
Asterix.
They were in a.
Oh,
banner,
that's right. Yeah,
but
they were. They were in a banner.
Once, yeah. I wish
lot
I
of
pulled
they
more of
do
that
that?
better.
A lot of people skipped Aqua because of Lingering Will, though. Like, didn't they come out almost the same time or some shit like that? Because a lot of people were like, I'm not getting her because I have Link.
No, everyone skipped Aqua because it was a guarantee in the Riku EX banner.
Oh right, I
and
forgot.
Hyrule was coming soon.
Yeah.
Same reason everyone skipped Marluxia
Mm.
EX and JP.
And that's why they gave him to as VP. Yeah,
Which
That
is
whole
why we had a
Marluxia
VIP.
fiasco was some shit, boy.
Well, they
Like
waited too long.
I couldn't like for real y'all mad because like you're literally getting him in VIP and like people were mad. Like not even free to play people were mad. Like
Heck nah.
people were upset about that.
We were
shit.
fine. I was like, you can have VIP. You can go for it, man. I don't care.
I never even used him, to be honest.
He wrote extra
I used
attack
it for
raid
very,
in
very
there.
brief moment because I got good traits, but his multiplier was just too weak.
Yeah, I have good traits on mine too, but I never used it, bro.
You know what? I got slapped all to hell by somebody that had their Master Xehanort EX Kai upgraded to a 7-star.
Uh-huh.
And I have him with perfect traits. I have ground air and extra attack on him, but I haven't upgraded him because, well, I have an extra one sitting around too that I could if I wanted to.
Look at this
But-
guy trying to show off.
I think they need
But-
to make a way to make the AoE medals worth evolving again.
Make AoE great again.
For
No kidding.
events, the only way they're gonna do that is if they start bringing out more events, high score challenge and or
Yep.
The only way
previous like Syax
to
plus
evolve a
level difficulty
AoE medal
type
is
shit.
Coliseum.
You
which
know-
most people skip it.
You know a medal that I could potentially see in the future coming out? Just like how we got Nominate, which makes AoE medal, single target or random target AoE. Can you imagine a medal that would make AoE medals stronger and single target?
If they made them stronger, yes, that would be very,
Yeah,
very
'cause the
nice.
first
But
one-
you'd have to adjust their multiplier, and I'm not sure how they would do that.
I mean, they did that for 7-stars. Sure, they ain't got no problem doing that.
Yeah.
Shoot,
But I
But you'd have to
the
go
only
back
way
and
to
do it
make-
again for every single AoE medal.
do it.
The only way to make
But
AoE
you're talking
medals
about-
valuable again is if you give people an easier chance to get fairies, then they don't have to stress over getting PvP so much, right? Because everybody wants PvP because they have to get the fairies, right?
Yeah, but that's not going to happen because they want you playing PvP. Like they want
Yeah.
people playing
PvP
PvP,
is
so
the
they're never
money
going to
grab.
do anything that's going to weaken that, like ever. That's one of the things I was saying earlier too to somebody in my party last night was they were kind of complaining about the fact that they couldn't finish like raid bosses faster or the coins for them. You know, the level 90 raid bosses weren't dropping that 10,000 coins anymore. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, well, no, I mean, that makes sense. Like one of the reasons they increased the HP on the Union Cross multi bosses and everything was because number one, they don't want you soloing those things by yourself. They want you in a party and they want you doing it every day. Like they want you playing the game every day, and this is one of the ways they're going to do to do that. So I mean, so PvP that kind of stuff, they're not going to take it out because they want that in there to keep you playing. Same thing with the others as well. I mean,
Yep.
so
Well,
I don't
one
think
thing that
anything
they-
that will impact
could
PvP.
do-
I don't think anything that will impact players playing PvP less will ever really go into the game, like at all.
Well,
Well, we
that's
had a
gonna suck,
conversation-
That AoE is never gonna like be back up there, you know.
The only time it's gonna be in there is if they end up making a new Hades Cup where it's a shitload of enemies, and if you don't have 7-star, it's like tier 7, the tier 17 level of if you don't have this shit on here, you ain't doing no type damage type of shit
Well,
for a Hades Cup.
We're kind of already at that point for higher tier Coliseum. You need to
No,
have
no, but
That's
I mean,
true.
like a lot of people can't do that, and a lot of people don't try to go that high in Coliseum. They're like free to play or whatever, or people that like are having to for real make that difficult ass choice about it. But if you make it some shit where hey, you get 6,000 jewels at the end of this bitch, you know, then it starts making people have to for real decide, fuck, do I want to upgrade a single
But we have
target for
the-
PvP or AoE.
Yeah, that makes
we have
sense.
the we have the primes that switch though. We have like Roxas and Xion and Roxas Prime in that. They can be both. And as
Yep.
far as AoE go, they're not the best, but they act as very, very good AoE still.
They're solid.
That's
and
why I
actually
always
mid-
stress like you gotta pull those
Same
things because they're just so
problem.
versatile.
But right before PvP came out, remember I was telling Prop this. I don't know if he remembers having this conversation with me, but single target medals lost a lot of their value because outside of, I would
Mhm.
say rating, even with the Coliseum, right? A lot of the single target enemies, their HP was so high that no matter what type of single target enemies you had, medals you had, you weren't gonna do shit against the enemy anyway. So
Yeah.
single target enemies medals completely lost their value. And then PvP comes around and they just boost it up like crazy. Nobody gives a shit about AoE anymore. Everybody wants single target, you know?
I'm sure it'll change. Yeah.
And it's the
It's
same
gonna
thing with
change
traits.
right back around soon.
And then you see the same thing with traits because everybody wanted ground and everybody realized, oh shit, ground doesn't do as much as strength. Now everybody wants EA and strength on their medals, and it fucks up everybody's setups for PvP. Because as long as you roll EA and strength, you're fine. You're like, I'm good now. I don't need to roll anymore.
Well, it also is, again, it entices you to pull more because now you're like, hey, now
Exactly.
I need 2 copies of a medal. I need 1 copy that's good for PvP, and then 1 copy that's good for either like Coliseum or for raiding. That could mean you kind of have to make those choices right there. So,
But
I mean,
honestly, that's what makes the Prime medals special because they have 5 slots. So if you're lucky, you can get like 2K strength if it's boosted. That's an extra, so a total of 3K strength, EA ground and air, and you're set for everything.
For everything, yeah. That's whale bait right there. That's for the whales.
Well, I think
That's
I
whale
get,
bait.
Incredibly lucky. Unless you get incredibly lucky. Because I mean, not for nothing, not to put you guys on blast, but how many times have you guys rolled specific medals nowadays just to get the traits? Because I'm gonna be honest, I see all these people pulling, and they're like, "Yo, I got so lucky. I got air, ground, E." I'm like, "Yeah, shut up. You did not get lucky. Your ass pulled a million times until you got those traits."
Well, is that my Kira 17? He has.
like I said, I couldn't pull on the Dusk banner, so I pulled 2 more times on the Riku Roxas banner just to try and roll traits on my current one, and I got EA on mine, so it was worth it for me.
But typically, if you could have pulled on the Dusk banner, you would have pulled until you got the perfect traits, or at least EA on it, right? Because everybody wants EA. Prop
No, of
got
course.
lucky, unless Prop wailed out and he's lying. But
I can
No,
honestly
I don't
say
well
that-
out like that. If I don't
can
get good
honestly-
traits, I'm good.
yeah,
I can say that I don't do that in terms of that of the medal for that kind of thing. Like none of my copy medals, I do not have a single copy medal that has EA on it,
That is hard to believe, still.
and I don't. I mean, I just don't. Because mainly for those kind of things, if it's a mercy banner,
got
like
a lot.
even for Phantom, I pulled for 2 copies, 1 for PvP and then 1 for like Coliseum,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. So I'm only going to do like either the mercy or the mercy twice for 2 copies. But those 2 copies, like once I roll those 5 or 3 traits into those 2 copies, that's it. I'm done. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, I'm not going to go too crazy on that trying to get that. So in a way, I do kind of regret it a little bit because my life would be a lot easier with some EA on some of those copy medals. But,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, honestly, I'm doing just fine without EA on copy medals. I do better, but I'm doing just fine without them right now.
You'd probably be.
Yeah,
top
bro,
10
you
every
good?
time.
You good, fam? Nah, you
That's
good?
kind of why I like the Prime medals. The Prime medals because of their 5
I'm
slots.
okay, Prop. I'm okay. Like, I'm barely chugging along there. I'm good.
Barely
I'm
chugging
barely
along,
chugging
you
along.
What
What
was
the
the
fuck?
Shed a tear, everyone. Shed a tear for the Uranus one. Okay?
What was the first medal that blew that wide open? Was that Axel Prime, the first Axel Prime?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when the first time he hit PvP, I see people with 3 or 4 copies. I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck's
hell
going
yeah.
on,
Like, what
bro?
the hell?
Me too.
Everybody had EA,
Like,
and
God
couldn't
damn
imagine
it,
how
I
much money
can't
these guys
do
were spending.
this. Mine turned into a raid one, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think I got.
That's why
3
the Prime
raid
medals are so great because you can make them a raid and PvP. Like I said, my Kira 17 has ground, EA, strength, and 2 raid. So he's good for raiding and PvP.
Yeah. And what does your Axel have?
Which one?
The Prime, the first one.
I know, but I have 2.
Huh?
I
I'm
have
so
2.
sorry, Damo. I know this is some shit that like you aren't
I
used
have
to
one
having
that
to
has
deal
EA,
with. but-
ground,
No,
and
no,
2
no, no. I
raid.
enjoy it. I enjoy it.
And then I have a boosted one that has ground, air, and strength.
See, mine got I think 3 raid traits and then strength. the rest of the way. And
Damn
then I
good
was like, I'm
raven.
not pulling anymore. Because I'm not gonna get into this. I don't chase trades.
Honestly, Lost used to not Lost. Ice used to bait me into pulling shit. Like,
Stop.
like honestly, before we got into the whole chat with him, it used to be like some heat would drop in a banner, or we'd find out about it in a tweet. We'd be like, "Hey, bro, you pulling on that?" And one of us would be like, "Yeah, I'll probably do it at the border, whatever." Whoever pulls first, next thing you know, you wake up in Discord to, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry, but I had to do it." Fam, like, no, why?
Gotta tell you that
no.
though. You get the best luck when you're sitting on the cam.
Bruh,
That
what
only
you
happened to
said?
me one time. That only happened to me one time. That was with was it Roxas EX, I believe?
Got mine on
That
Shion
happened to me with
EX.
Roxas EX. Yeah,
Yeah, it worked.
I got
Prop
Roxas
told
with
me.
a toilet pole.
Prop told me is like, yo, I get my best pull. I'm sitting on the
Bruh, and
toilet.
it was with the free jewels they gave us, like the 10K free ones they gave us. I was
Didn't we get 15 or was it 10?
It was. I
15
think
for
it was
the
10.
anniversary.
It was 15. Oh yeah, it was 15. I was like, I did the mercy or whatever. I didn't get him and did one more pull. He popped up like, well, these toilet pulls is fucking good
I
luck.
know in episode 1 we heard Aaron in the bathroom doing fairy poles in the toilet.
Wait,
Ain't giving no fucks.
He was the only one that I got on the toilet. Other than that, I
Wait,
pull
whoa.
right when I wake up.
I pulled
No.
Shion EX in the middle of the day. I was like, hey babe, I'm gonna go ahead and buy some extra jewels for Shion. I want to get her. I did 2 pulls. It's like, I didn't get her on the first one. The next one, and this used to be my ritual. And I'm curious if you had any rituals, Damo, for shit that isn't like guaranteed or merciable.
Yep.
I used to like wait till like the middle of the day or some shit. Ain't nobody pulling. Like either you do it around noon or some shit, or you wait till like 4 or 5, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Ain't nobody pulling. Hit that shit like every single time. Get an EX. Like, yes. Yes.
Well, he can get away with pulling in the middle of the day because everyone over here is sleeping.
Yeah, like I can like for it used to always work. It used to always work.
You know, it's a global game, right?
I mean, obviously.
Nobody's pulling.
I don't want to mess
But-
up your juju here, but like,
But like I would always look at Discord to see like when is Discord super active or some shit. Like when are people dropping their pulls like left and right. Cause most people wait until like right after the shit first comes out and you get a shitload of people pulling all at once. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
there are people pulling any time of the day, but when the shit first drops, 9 times out of 10 is when you're gonna get the most traffic. So I used to just wait to like the
Yeah,
middle
see,
of
if
the
he's
day.
pulling in the middle of the day, for you it's the middle of the night, you're not pulling.
Yeah, for you it's the middle of the night, but like did you have any rituals like that for like how you would decide to pull on a banner or some shit? Even like being free to play, like maybe for like a mercy if you wanted to get it before the mercy pull, or if there was an EX in the mercy pull along the way, was there ever any kind of decision you would make on when to make a video and do your pull?
Well, it's definitely not on the toilet.
Imagine if someone did that though.
I was about to say, Damon's about to start doing that now. He's gonna have to move his setup to the bathroom.
Oh,
just get the USB cable, drag it out to the bathroom, and be like, "Hey guys, how you going?"
I can see now. Hey guys, sorry about that.
I'm just,
I'm in the bathroom.
just a little bit stuck here, so if you don't mind,
It's gonna do my
Dropping
pulls
heat.
for.
Drop
Hey
them in.
everybody, how you doing? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm on the toilet.
what was the first banner you guys
Mine the
wailed on?
plop. First banner I wailed on.
Mine was WAF. I went savage on that banner, bro. Back in the day.
Shoot, I can't freaking remember, man. I've been playing this game for almost 3 years.
I started
I don't-
playing like heavy around the time of HD Sora. I came in.
When did I put
can
like
tell you-
extra money into
I
the
think
game?
the time I became a whale was probably
The time I became one.
Or Illustrated Sephiroth. That's what they had you since then.
no, I didn't
Oh,
even
God.
pull it.
No, my first one was for
It sounds like
illustrated.
losing our
Shion.
virginity cards. Like,
Aaron, you said Illustrated Shion?
Yeah, illustrated Shion, HD Axel. Like I was like, I'm only gonna get Shion. I'm gonna guilt Shion. That's what I'm gonna get. And then
I'm gonna
when I saw
guilt him.
Axel, I was like, yeah. Then Axel came in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get him too, but that's it. I'm not gonna spin again for a while. And then, the downward spiral started there.
And then the
Wait, that
erroneous one was
$700
born.
banners? That was the $700 banners, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, don't remind me of that mess. No, it was at that time where I decided to quit global for a little bit and go to JP.
That was pouring a drink.
Please tell me that's a Drake.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you peeing? He's toilet pulling right now, bro.
Wait, who is that?
I've only ever dropped maybe like $50, and like if I ever dropped 100, it was like a gift card. It was in gift card form.
Bullshit.
But I've never gone past like $50 outside of VIP for a medal. I've
Bullshit.
just gotten lucky. If this was Doken, though, boy, I don't even want to talk about how much money I've dropped in that bitch.
What's the most you spent on Doken in one banner, bro?
Oh God, don't. Oh.
Make sure the
I'm
wife's
not
not
saying
around.
any numbers because I don't even want to think about it. But I think the banner I spent the most on was probably
Gogeta banners are always the fucking worst for me.
Over $200, bro.
It was over 200. Fuck yeah, it was over 200. It's gonna be like, granted, I just like finished a commission, so I had like access of money to what, like, it wasn't a big deal. But the fact that I spent that much and didn't get them hurt me so bad.
Oh, man.
So now, like, whenever Gogeta comes out, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm probably not gonna get him. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
I think the most I ever did was Axel, Illustrated Axel EX. I think I did 20 pulls, and I was like, I didn't get him. Fuck that, I'm out of here.
that was the tier 5 one.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I remember that one.
I think I did 20.
I actually just pulled him.
I did too. I got him.
I had him and Cloud.
I didn't
Which
get
is why I'm kind of excited for the tier 7 primes to come out because then you get all these tier 7 EXs in the banners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that'll be
that's
fun.
right.
I got.
Which is another reason to skip tier 6 is because the tier 6 EX medals were not that great.
They were not good at all. No.
I mean, they were okay at the time, but now, no.
What, the Roxas was tier 6, right?
Roxas,
Yeah.
Sephiroth, Xion.
Oh, I used the shit out of
I have
bro.
Roxas and Xion. I have both of those, but
I have
It was
Xion,
great when
but I
they
got
came
rid
out,
of
but they're not going to be very good now. So
Because the problem is a lot of us didn't get a chance to trade them. Because once we got that one, we were
Exactly.
like, we're out of this banner. Fuck that. And I never understood that. I always said, Cena, why don't you just make it easier to get these medals so people could chase the trades? That's what you want. That's where you're going to get your money. Because once people get that medal, they're done.
when
But
did
I-
they introduce traits? Like, which year did they introduce traits?
4, right?
Yeah, I
Four.
think so.
Nah,
Nah, bro. They
traits
nah.
themselves or trait medals?
No,
Like,
traits.
traits themselves.
Wasn't it with Kyrie, right? It was our anniversary.
KH2 Kyrie
Yeah,
And
is
She
that
was
the
Yeah.
tier 5 or
and
she's
KH2 Sora.
Yep.
5?
Oh, so tier
Trait
5.
medals didn't come until Riku EX. The
Yeah.
Riku EX
Yeah.
right before Sephiroth and Cloud.
In JP, yeah.
Uh-huh. But ours was
dumb medal,
tier
by the
5.
way.
Tier 5. 'Cause remember, everybody was chasing extra attack on that Kyrie. Remember?
Oh yeah. God, yes. Good God.
I got her pretty quick.
Fucking.
But that everybody back in the day was grabbing all their medals and just trading the shit. Remember, was it Piggy? He traded his Jack and Sally, and he got EA on that.
Piggy.
Yeah, that was OP for him at the time. Some
Now, the
people was
first
it.
banner I whaled down on was HD Aqua EX, and I only did it because I wanted to make a perfectly traded Vanitas.
HD Aqua EX.
Yep.
Okay.
And I wasn't even chasing
Oh,
her.
yeah, I
I was trading
remember that.
Vanitas
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
only time Global had a select medal of or select pool of medals.
Mhm.
So I was chasing Vanitas copies. That's all I was doing.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that,
Oh,
man.
JP
Damn,
had
that
that,
was long ago.
had that for so
That's the
long. And I was
first-
like, I really want that, but at the same time, I kind of want to have the ability to pull more medals than
It's
just
like,
six.
I want it.
That's the Aqua
Well, once
that
we finally had it, I was like, oh, cool. Now I can get a great Vanitas, and I use them a lot. But
That's the
all
Aqua
the
that
other
raised
medals
guilt, right? That's the first medals, the BBB trio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ah,
I
good
had 2
times.
copies of 0.2 Sora with ground, air, and EA. Horrible medal.
Fuck, they dropped so many of that motherfucker. God damn.
VIP twice, right?
No,
I
the
think so.
0.2 one
I-
upright.
Oh,
handed.
0.2.
Oh, the tier
Oh,
5?
okay.
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha,
No,
gotcha, gotcha.
tier 6.
Oh. Ah, yeah, whatever. It's a tier.
Shit medal. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's a
And I got
shit.
great traits on 2 different copies, so alright, cool. Of course, it's the bad medals you get the good traits on, but
And I think the other banner I whaled on was Nominees. When she first came
which
out.
nominee?
Oh god, yeah, the first nominee, the first copy nominee, tier 5.
And I
Yeah.
was so
Bruh.
I got so many copies of her, bro.
Bro,
Like,
I remember Damo's video for that. Like Damo's video being super upset about Nominate dropping right after Kyrie came out.
yeah, that was dirty, bro. Very
That's
dirty.
Square Enix for ya.
Yep.
And then they blew it wide open with Sephiroth EX. I remember everybody went absolute apeshit for that medal, bro, and I didn't get it.
Yeah,
And now everybody has it.
I think
I still don't have it. I don't have a single Sephiroth EX medal at all.
I
Well,
got
He's
Well,
like
Talking
the
about
one medal
HD
I can't get.
nominated. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
I swear to God, if Damo, because Damo earlier said he got nominated the nominee medal, for a second I thought he meant he got the new one from the banner. I'm
No.
like, really? I'm the
No.
only dude. I'm the only dude in this whole chat. Like
don't
the
have
free to play guy got him. I can't even like really.
I got one full 4
Rob,
hours. Like, I didn't even expect.
Yeah,
to get it.
yeah,
I was
but
like,
you got
really,
like
really
all this
wanted it.
extra shit, bro. You
Like
got
what?
all this extra shit, bruh. You got 3 Roxas and Rikus in one fucking pool,
And
bro.
one pool, yeah. I got
Fuck
great
out of
uses.
here with that.
And I still have a few traits. I mean, yeah, there's a few rolls.
Hey, rub it in, don't you?
All right, guys, I gotta get going myself. But good luck, man.
Have a good one,
All right,
bro.
man. You have a
See
good
you,
one.
man.
Hey,
Cheers, man.
Damo, it was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, good to finally talk to you, man. I really had a good time.
All right, see you guys.
Later, bro.
See ya.
Man.
It's time to wave,
Cyber was the
boys.
first one, I think. Yeah, Cyber was the first one out of us to get nominated EX.
How many pulls, Cyber?
Well, he's not in here, but Cyber,
I forgot he didn't even come in this weekend.
yeah, he doesn't talk. Cyber does not talk on mic at all. That's his thing.
He would just type in the chat and somebody it would just record it.
Do you know how many pulls it took him now?
He got it.
got
Hold
it
on,
fairly
it's
soon.
in our chat. Yeah, it's in our chat. He got it
Let me go
pretty
back and
soon.
find it.
That's crazy, bro. And then Lost
Because
got it
of
what?
course he
fifth?
would.
Lost, how many pulls it took you?
For which
Oda got
which
in
medal?
3.
The nominated, the new one.
The first one I got 5. The second one I got an 11.
Wait, but you didn't pull for her at all in global, right?
No.
Okay. And then Badger got her when? Your 4th?
4. Yeah.
Wow. I did 5 pulls and got shit, bro.
What'd you get?
I just got nothing. I just got remember my first pull. I got 3 of the medals, Roxas versus whatever. What is it? I'm bugging. I'm drawing a blank right now. I got 3 of them in one time, and then the rest of them I got shit pretty much.
I gotcha. No, my post wasn't too bad, but honestly, it confused the hell out of a lot of people when I uploaded that video because people thought, since I got on the mercy pool, like everybody thought it was a mercy pool. I'm like, nah, chill. Don't be pulling on this freaking banner just because I got on the mercy pool. That was the first time I've ever gotten an EX on a 5 pool like that. Ever.
Yeah. And now with Shion and Kyrie back, I'm not gonna even pull on the nominee banner anymore because I want to mercy Shion. I need 4 more pulls.
All right, Popper. Go ahead. Help him out.
Nah, bro, I'm good with that. Hey, bro, you can handle that.
Give that Twitch money, man.
Nah, bro, I'm saving my Twitch money for other shit, bruh, what you said? What you said though? I am too ready. I am too ready for that shit. I am too ready, homie.
You have to stream that.
It depends on when they drop. It depends on when they drop. I'll stream. If it's like at night and they drop, I can't guarantee nothing. But if they drop in the middle of the day like they normally do, I may have to get on and do a stream and pull.
This just sounds so weird right now when you're talking about your balls dropping. What the fuck, man?
Whale in Dokkan.
Of course, I am a whale in Dokkan. I am like
And I-
100%.
I
Oh,
pissed
it's
him off
confirmed.
because I pissed him off because he's a whale, and then when I first started playing, I got all the pull luck that he wasn't getting, and he was whaling on these banners.
Bruh, didn't I piss you off when I started playing, when I was playing Dokkan for a little bit?
Everybody gets fucking luckies and shit. It's the fuck. I hate it so goddamn much.
I'll never
Lost,
forget
if
that
you ever
shit.
begin a statement with, didn't I piss you off? The answer is always yes.
Yes.
That's like, watch, if Damo ever decides to play this shit, which I think he should, by the way. If he ever decides to play this shit, this man gonna pull fire like back to back. He's gonna have like the most OP setup he can start off with, and I don't give shit.
Money because of the amount of times he advertises this game, there's
Nah.
no way he doesn't get a cut.
Damon, do you play anything else other than Khux?
In terms of gacha games, nah, no.
Good, smart man.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, Kingdom Hearts has got me by the balls, so I'm gonna be with this thing to the end of time. But I'm not. I don't know. I
okay.
definitely can't see myself doing any other
talk
gacha
about it.
games.
I just talk about Dokkan because it's cool. Like, it's a good free-to-play game now. It wasn't for a long time, but it's
That's what I
pretty
heard.
friendly
Yeah.
to free-to-play players now. And there's so many different events for, like, multiple different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, not Lost, Ice plays it, and Ice enjoys it, and he plays KHUX, and he tends to enjoy their model better than KHUX.
Yeah.
And he used to wail something awful in KHUX, so I mean, it says
No more.
You know what I
We were
think he's
talking
gonna
about
start
it
doing now
earlier.
is he's gonna start putting on his Tims every time he pulls.
Say that again, bro. You cut off. I couldn't hear you.
No, I said I think from now on, I think a new ritual you're gonna be doing is putting on your Tims and whatnot when you pull.
He's gonna rub his Tims for luck. He's gonna rub his Tims.
No, he's gonna clap them together.
Thinking
Damo, I
those
have a
3 times.
Damo, I have a question for you though, bro. We spoke about it a little bit like last week, but with a lot of the shitty things that Cena's been doing to like the community and like a lot of the mistakes they've been making, do you have any like advice to some of the gamers and how they should like voice their opinion aside from this feedback thing that's coming out that they're dropping?
Supposedly.
I mean, I guess we'll take a look at that and see what happens. But I mean, I really don't think. Okay, so I mean, the JP development team, I reckon, is responsible for like 80% of the actual content that comes out, and then it's up to the North American or global, whatever you want to call it, team to effectively push the limit of how far we as a community will go and what they can get away with into, ridiculous banners like the fairy banner, for example, all things like that, all their little weird experiments, and they're trying to see how much shit they can get away with. If we can somehow
we just gotta
communicate that to
guess.
them.
I'm about to say, Damon, I don't mean to cut you off, but we just got a
No,
tweet.
let's hear it.
It says, ahoy, Keyblade weirders! It's time to show off your love for the sea and treasure with our latest pirate avatar ports. Also arriving tonight is a special 7-star illustrated Aqua bead deal. They'll be available tonight.
I'll pass it.
Wait, so I was right. They are gonna do this. This
You
is
nailed it.
exactly what they're
Looks
going
like
to
it.
do.
If there was ever one to pull, it is quite literally that. That is the only 6-star, tier 6 worth pulling. Literally,
Exactly.
that's the only one. If you're looking for
For
PvP.
PvP.
Yeah.
See, I won't
But as a
pull
general
because I
use,
have
0.2 Terra is also very good for PvE.
Yeah.
0.2 Terra.
Yep.
But
He was
Speaking just for
like a beast.
PvP, Aqua is a freaking beast.
Oh god,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
I always
exactly
get my
what
ass
they're gonna
beat
do.
sometimes by that damn metal.
Aqua. I
Hell
have
yeah.
brown hair and strength on her, but
No, I mean, like I got 2 copies, right? Like one has triple raid and is boosted, and fucking dominates in raids, but the other one that I got only has plus 1,000 in ground. And I'm just like, I could use it, but that extra attack though.
So I shouldn't mention my trades.
Sorry to cut you off, Damon, but what were you saying earlier?
Completely lost track. I was like looking up on my little graph thing. I'll share this with you guys in the chat. But in terms of multiplier, like with an 80% boost, Roxas and Xion, like the current primes we have right now, Roxas Prime, Roxas and Xion, and Roxas Riku, are almost identical as a single target medal to this Aqua B. So honestly, like I'll show you guys this now, but really no point in pulling this if you're already content with your single target setup if it's composed of these tier 5 primes. But
I wouldn't be mercying a metal like Aqua B. To be
No,
honest.
I wouldn't go to
One,
a mercy.
it's in a
No.
general pool of the pull metals, so you'll get it eventually. So there's no reason to pull 5 times to get a single.
like you were
copy.
saying before, like if you had tier 6 fairies and you were looking to just upgrade single targets, your choices are so limited. Of all the medals, there are, I think, 4. No, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are actually either single or random target from tier 6. It's Illustrated, Goofy, Donald, Aqua B, Aqua and Stitch, and the 2 key arts. The Halloween one, which I think is 14, and 15, where Sora's holding the flag from the Kingdom Hearts 1 artwork.
Oh
That's it.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
only 6
Uh-huh.
single targets, and of them, you'd only want up to, 4 of them. So
and then we can't forget that Sora and Simba just came. So if you're sitting on a Sora and Simba, you really don't need Aqua because especially
Yep.
it's just
Well,
gonna
until you get an all-speed week in PvP, then it's nice to have it, but
yeah.
it's not
But-
a metal I would mercy for all the free-to-play listeners. That's just not something I'd pull on.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, because when you've got Woody, and yeah, if you've got Woody, Antiform, Sora, any of those have
Phantom.
extra attack on them. Phantom, Riku, I mean not Riku, Roxas and Shion, that
Yep.
were also merciable.
Yeah.
And
Illustrated
the
Diz, if you have it.
yeah,
Kiar
Diz
bonds.
and the other copy metal, the Kiar
PR bonds.
bonds, yeah, then you're pretty much good to go. On top of Kairi or Shion Kai in there somewhere, and you're good to go.
Not
And
only
did you
that,
mention-
and if Proper's theory holds true, and they just do this for the tier 6s and then just jump straight into tier 7.
That
That's
means
not
like
I mean, if
it'd
they do
be
that, you're gonna be
too
wishing
late.
you didn't spend your jewels right now. So
Shit.
100%
Yep.
skip on this.
They're about
They
to
kind of-
drop some heat. Some heat's about to
Yeah.
drop, fam.
For sure.
They kind of blew their wad though, because again, Aqua B is like the best. I mean, apart from Illustrated Goofy and Donald, which were high score challenge, obviously, there's really nowhere up to go from here. Like it is categorically the best non-high score challenge tier 6 medal. So unless they're just gonna get this one done and move straight on, like either do Donald and Goofy next or do some more AoEs and hope to catch more people out. Like maybe I don't know.
Or
It
they
depends
just
how
move
well
into
the
tier
EX
6
banners
Prime.
did. Like if Roxas EX caught a bunch of people, then they might do like Sephiroth EX and be like, oh, here it is. Here's the big one.
Shion
boss."
and Sephiroth could probably get people, I would say.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Probably.
I'd still be saying skip it, but I mean, yeah, I could definitely see them catching people. Like one big AoE single target, like
I
single
would just
hit.
skip tier 6 in general because really Aqua,
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Aqua, Goofy, and Donald, which Goofy and Donald you can't get anymore, are really the only viable ones for PvP. Just skip them.
Mhm.
There's
They
a
should
lot
drop
of
a
good
banner
single
like-
targets in tier 7. Yeah, Genie, which I don't know if you'll be able to get that one again. It was High School Challenge. But Herc, Scar, all the foretellers will be in Prime Metal deals.
I don't know if they do like a copy medal, like Antiform Sora. I'd be like, maybe. Like that
Like
might get
it'd
me.
be very tempting.
Yeah. The reason I didn't pull on Illustrated Dusk was again, it's like, okay, it's not going to be 7 stars. And I'm never, well, it'll take me a long time to upgrade that Dusk to 7 stars. And in the meantime, you know, who knows what high school challenge medals could be out, Organization 13 medals could be out that like make more sense on paper to upgrade instead. But if they give you a copy medal directly at 7 stars and like a powerful one, like, I don't know, let's say HT Vanitas comes out as a 5 Poor Mercy at 7 stars. I'm going, fuck, that might get me. That really might get me.
That would be very tempting even for myself.
So what
Yeah.
they just did, or what they're doing this week, is the gold ticket and VIP. If they did that every single week, how quick do you think things would change in power gap? Because as someone asked me earlier in the week, is it worth getting VIP for the gold ticket because they're not a great player and they're free to play, and they're getting maybe a couple silvers every week. So getting a gold for them is pretty significant. But I've gotten golds before that have just been tier 5s and 6s where I'm just like, okay, well, cool, fuck this. If they put a gold in every single week, would you become VIP to play? If you weren't already?
This is what
Or
I
would
see.
you buy it
VIP.
more?
This is what I tell people all the time. I look at VIP just me buying a discounted pull. Everything else that comes with VIP is just a bonus.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I look at PvP. I don't look
Good
at it
way to
like,
look at it.
damn, this medal is trash, I'm not buying it. No, I'm just getting the discounted pull.
And the thing is, though, with that golden ticket, it's not like you're guaranteed to get a tier 8 or tier 7. It's all based. It's all going to be ONG based.
Ticket, and I mean, it's a good ticket. Obviously, it's the best ticket
No, of
there
course.
is at the moment. But it's not for someone that doesn't get gold tickets, or it would be their first one. I wouldn't. If they made it a regular thing, I wouldn't.
Think about how
Something
many people
like
fell
that,
into the
probably.
trap of doing their 5 pull mercy or pulling until they got all the incredible medals just to get a gold ticket that didn't buy VIP
That was a
or some
mistake.
shit.
That
Like
promo, if anyone
I'm
actually
sure
looked
there
for
is
that,
some
I'm
that
sorry.
will.
Oh, the trap for that fairy banner. That was ridiculous.
At least VIP for me is like I said, I just get it just for the discounted pull, the extra jewels that come with it. Now, like they're including the other shit with it, so I don't have to farm my dick off for those Huey, Dewey, and Louis anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and they were for real smart about like just from a business standpoint, they were smart about taking them shits out for people that burn through theirs because now you have to do all the other content just to get them so you can level shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But now that they're
Well,
back
it's
and
how
with
often
chips
are they
and
going to
nails
have
and
that
shit.
banner in there, though?
Exactly. But now people can farm the shit out of that.
I did.
You know?
I've got quite a few stacks now. I'm planning on doing more.
That's what I'm gonna do. But that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna farm the shit out of that event and just
There
have
was-
stacks ready.
There was a while that they dropped it a few times, like almost not in a row, but it was kind of often. It was just like, oh, here goes this VIP quest again. Here's this VIP quest again. And then
Well,
they
before
just-
there were 7 stars, there wasn't really any use to do it because money is useless.
But I just
um,
farmed the shit out of them though. I have so many. I don't even have to farm right now in this new one.
I'd say I know JP wouldn't mind getting that man over here, cause shoot, I'm starting to get low on HDLs there.
Yeah. But I said one time they should just add the chips in it. Just one time, like JP.
Oh hell yeah!
Just once, please.
Like that's the funny part about JP and Global, and eventually I'll get to making a video about this. But to actually say the right differences between JP and Global, because I see so many posts that tick me off whenever they give information about JP, and I'm just like, no, that's not fucking true. And then the fact that I don't even want to waste my time defending it, because these people are gonna do their best. They're like cold-hearted set on the fact that whatever they said was true and what I'm saying is not, and they haven't even played the game, the JP version of the game. You know?
well, people are that ignorant and stubborn too. It's like if someone's gonna make a mistake and give misinformation and you call it out on them, I mean, at least be
That's what a lot of people like
at
to
least
do.
prideful
Though.
enough to admit you're wrong.
Yeah, and even for the global version of the game, you know, like whenever events or something like that comes out, people are always saying like, oh, we're gonna get like this amount of jewels. Like take anniversary, second anniversary for global. You know, everybody was saying like, yeah, we're gonna get 15k jewels, 20k jewels, da 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 da. Like for the longest time, for like the month before, and then look what happened.
Yeah,
And then
take your
people all
3K, go pull on
Yeah,
Stephen need a CX and shut the fuck up.
And people were all upset and butthurt about it, like, oh, they lied to us, da 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 da. And I'm
reading
like,
the comments right now, like people are mad about this Aqua banner. It's like, why are you mad? You can save jewels, fam. Like, are you?
like you can skip
like-
it.
I actually
like-
prefer if they release banners that I'm willing to skip on because that gives me more time to
Exactly.
save.
Like, please stop with these deals unless you're gonna add some events allowing free-to-play players to pull from the banners. Like, just save your jewels, fam. Like Damo. # follow Damo, homie.
I feel like what they should do once a month, like the third week of the month or some shit, just that Friday banner, just make it a skills to thrills, just so they can skip a week because
I thought they was doing that.
banners.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Never mind. Excuse me.
The frequency of banners is too much, bro. And it's just like looking at
is.
Dokkan, for example, you have one banner that will last like a month, like literally a month, and then there's no other
It's
banners.
rubbing off on them.
It just makes sense because your characters become way more viable, and it's like Kingdom Hearts. I hate being able to pull like let's say for example the was it the foretellers, right? The foretellers dropped, and then they were outclassed super fast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of shitty, bro, because it's like you spent the money to like pull them and do all that, and it's just like, do you not pull? Do you save on those? Because they were awesome medals.
And I promise you, that's exactly what's gonna happen again in JP next month. Like 100%.
You cut off again. I'm sorry, bro.
No, I was saying I promise you something like that is gonna happen for JP's anniversary next month.
Dude, you're cutting out.
Yeah, you're cutting out, bro.
All right, hold on. Let me back out.
Too
Hold on.
long.
That's right. If he's got the recording, then the podcast should sound fine, and it'll just be like we're being really rude to him and just not answering his questions.
Nah, fuck that guy.
What?
Glow it, dude.
Can you? Okay. So no, I was trying to say that exactly what had happened with the foretellers last year for JP's anniversary, and then like a cheaper, better version of them will come out. It's the same thing that's gonna happen for third anniversary. 100%.
Yep.
Our
I
anniversary.
think that may have already happened a little bit with, like, that's a brand new mechanic we've never seen before, and typically they don't go out of their way to code in a new mechanic if they're not going to reuse it. I really do feel like she's going to come back in some way. Maybe the new Kairi gets that mechanic as well. Like, let's say Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi gets that mechanic, but a better version of it, where the rest of your, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4, the rest of your setup potentially gets the AOE effect applied to it.
I'll
Man,
tell
what
you
is
what
this
I'm
release
worried
is
Free
about.
metal that
The shit out of
just
the
did
game.
the ability and no bugs.
My concern right now for JP's anniversary is I'm a little concerned about the fact that another Kyrie might pop up, and I know that's too early for me to say, but I just got that weird feeling in the back of my mind.
You say that, but you know it could always happen.
I really
Mhm.
doubt it, bro. I really doubt it.
Don't doubt shit when it comes to this game, fam. Like,
I
I'm
would doubt
telling
it,
you
but
right now, my main
Robert is right.
concern is they'll drop heat that everyone's gonna pull for in JP, because we're gonna end up getting the same thing. Y'all get more likely than not. So they're gonna end up dropping all this heat, all this fire, some shit everybody's gonna want. And as soon as anniversary is over, they're gonna drop like that extra heat right behind it and be like, "Hey, you know what, fam? We got some shit that's even better than Kyrie. Let's get it, boys!" Like, but why though?
I'd probably quit the game at that point. Like, fuck this, bro.
Oh yeah, right.
They do that every time, bro.
So remember when this Kyrie dropped?
Uh-huh.
Everybody was like, "No fucking way, bro." No, actually, no. Remember
No,
the
no.
last one? The last one that came, not this one that just came out. The
Oh, the
one right
illustrated?
before that.
Yeah.
Remember when they dropped that tweet that it just showed like the pink border or whatever it
Oh
was?
yeah.
And we were like, we can't believe it's this soon, because we were like, what, 3 months ahead of schedule or some shit when she dropped?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
way
predicting,
too
like,
early.
December,
Yeah,
and it
way
came out
too
late
early.
October.
And it broke the khux community. We were like, nobody had jewels. We were like, fuck. It was crazy, bro.
Like,
Yeah, I was
but like the community brought it
caught
up
off guard.
itself. Like, that's the type of shit that like, honestly, anyone listening to this is like, why do you always attack people on the Twitter and say all this shit? It's like the community specifically kept asking, "Hey, bro, like, if we can just get caught up to JP, like all we want to do is just be just like JP. You got the medal just like JP got. Like, you got caught up to where they were." You didn't say like I want like the same amount of jewels on the way to that. You didn't say all this
Well,
other shit. You
we
were
said
just
this
like,
in the podcast before.
like you
They
just
give
want to
us
be
what
just
we
like
asked for.
JP.
It's just not the way that we expect it to be.
Exactly.
Getting
like,
caught up to JP is the stupidest thing the community ever asked for. Like, are you
I
kidding
know.
me?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
the
I
best
agree.
thing we had going for us. Are you kidding me? Do you think anyone would have pulled for Keyart 17 if they knew Riku versus Roxas was right around the corner? Like,
Nope.
any of the any of the primes, any of those first batch of primes, like half of them that are shit, all the AOE ones that anyone pulled for. What? No one would have pulled for any of those. Like, I know people complained we didn't get as much jewels as JP, but we also didn't have to waste jewels on stupid shit that we didn't need. Like, I don't know, I've gotten some shit for this statement before, but it's like, if you really consider how many, like, a net amount of jewels earned versus amount of jewels spent, we'd probably end up a little bit positive, because we don't just go throwing away random jewels on stupid shit we didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
And we just held on to it for the really crucial moments. That's what I was saying. Like, when I did my first timeline, where I was like, okay, this is how many jewels we'll likely get before Kari, I was saying, this is all subject to change. They could release it tomorrow. And I was like, hang on to at least a good stash anyway, just in case, because they could do anything they want with this game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
That used to be the shit that would infuriate me, because in my head I'm like, please, for the love of, especially like a lot of the YouTubers that were bigger in the community at the time. It's like, please stop telling people to not spend on shit and just like wait for this, because I'm like, I know somebody in this shit gotta be watching y'all's videos on top of the Twitter and shit. Especially now when you find out people get invited to those events and everything. You're like, just shut the fuck up about it.
Well, they definitely
Like, we
watch
all
some
know.
people.
Like, we all know, just shut the fuck up about it and just let us be calm about it so I can save and just be cool when this shit drops. But everyone, like, every video, hey, bro, this new Fire Banner dropped. Hey, man, don't even worry about that. Just save. Kyrie's gonna come in, like, 6 months, you know? And then, literally,
You're
like,
welcome.
2 weeks or some shit. Bam, bro. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because
why?
I was one of those people
'cause
that
I-
wanted to be caught up, because I didn't like skipping banners, because like, oh, the new Sephiroth came out, but I know something else is coming out after him that's better than him.
You
but I
were a
really want
different case,
Sephiroth.
Damo. Like you were a different case, because
No.
you went over like specifically like how many jewels you can get, what banners may or may not be worth it on the way, like just based off what we had gotten from JP and what we'd known before Kyrie had dropped. So it was a different case, instead of just looking at every banner that dropped, every tweet, every update, and be like, nah, this is trash. You can go ahead and skip that, fam. You know?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
then
replying
every
directly
Twitter
to
like
them
that.
is kind of like taunting and being like, no, this is shit, wait for Kari. I'm not like at the dead door. And they're like, yeah, this is the new one. I'm like, no, bullshit. I'm like,
Well,
we
there's
want to get
people on social
involved.
media that, I mean, every single post on Twitter, every time they release a banner of bait, New banner bait.
Bruh.
Yeah, I,
Oh,
I,
every
I don't know if
time.
I like that.
Everything is bait.
But with
Kylie
J-
and Shion Mercy banner bait.
Yeah, what?
If this is bait, I want to know what the hell it's coming after. Because
Exactly.
No, and the
But
thing
J-
is,
I mean,
though,
I
we don't have that. Well, global players don't have that nice leisure when it comes to finding out what medals actually are gonna be coming in the future. Like when we used to have like the whole data mine thing and whatnot.
Exactly, bro.
You know,
That's what I was about to
back
say. I
back in the
never-
day, it used to be like so much easier. People can be like, oh, okay, well, I don't need this, this, and this. You know, so it's all good. And the reason why I don't like the fact that global caught up to JP was because for global players especially, it benefited them so that way whatever JP got, you know, we're the ones over here like taking a hit, while global players can actually be smart about or semi-smart about it and figure out, okay, you know, I don't need this matter, I don't need this matter, you know, it's not really gonna be all that, so I can just skip it. But now it's just like people complaining about like, oh, there's too many banners. Well, you're the one that asked for this, you fucks.
But I never understood how people got mad at spoilers, right? Like, I don't want to know what metal's coming out. Why not? You
Doesn't
don't
make any
want to know
sense.
what you pull from.
Yeah.
I
I
that's
don't know
why
which JPEG.
when I was streaming and I had my own Discord was kind of like not popular, but like I had a lot of people coming in and was just kind of like I'm not making a no spoiler section. I'm not doing that because if, I never understood. I felt like it benefit everybody so much to know what was. And for me personally,
spoilers only matter in
it-
like the entertainment industry. That's I really wouldn't consider
Exactly.
because you're buying something.
and for me
Like
personally, like
movies or a game, that's different.
for me personally, I never like said I want to catch up to JP's banners. What I wanted was to have parity with JP as far as like some of the benefits that they receive. Other
Daily
than that,
jewels. Big one.
yeah,
Daily jewels.
jewels. Even
That
now,
was
like when I
huge.
said with the VIP quest where we get the Chip and Dales, like little things like that, the VIP coins. That's all I cared about. I never cared about the banners. Take your time. I don't give a shit.
So we were talking about this in my party earlier today about different gacha games and how things like the Alchemist Code have a lot of grinding mechanics to the game. Where Khux doesn't really give, like now with the Coliseum buff, what exactly do you grind outside of Raid Week?
You don't really have anything. to
There's no
grind.
grind involved. Like once you finish
There's
the
no way
story,
of earning
there
additional
is nothing.
currency. Yeah.
If there was a way to grind like a certain event for a, I wouldn't say a lot, like a reasonable amount of jewels that you could just grind jewels. Not a lot, nothing that's gonna make you suddenly
One
super
jewel.
rich.
One jewel.
Do like 10 jewels every time you complete the event, and the event lasts, I don't know, 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not nothing that's gonna make you super rich really fast.
Mhm.
But it was an option. Would you be in favor of that?
Yeah, sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Because it would be much more free to play friendly because it's another way of getting jewels outside of your daily 300 or 400 to 600 depending on your login.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually miss the days when we would have events that would drop like maybe 100 jewels, because those add up. Like those add up really quick.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I know
maybe
what
you
you're
do
talking
a
about.
quest and you get
Remember
like
the weekend raid
200.
boss used to drop like
and
30
shit.
every weekend. Like
Yeah, I fucking hate having an odd amount. Like it's not a flat 100 something. You know, it's always like, oh
But it was
shit, it's
something.
like the
I'll take
70.
my
I
30
need that
to hit.
30 extra. You know,
Uh-huh.
I'll take it.
a way to, whether it be HDLs or Chippendales, something worth grinding for. Jewels would be like the ideal thing, but like no one bothers doing Union Cross outside of maybe one 30-minute session a week to get all the jewels to complete all the boards. Why don't you make Union Cross boards endless?
Yeah.
Just constantly repeat the mirror boards or constantly repeat the broom boards or something, just to get a little small amount of jewels or a small amount of mirrors.
Mhm.
I think Coliseum's rewards should probably be tweaked in that regard.
Same with
like
Yeah, for sure.
how many spare coins would you have right now?
Jesus, bro.
Or even the raid
Infinite?
boxes.
Way too many.
40, 50,000 raid coins right now just that are completely useless because there's what, 4 boards
Mhm.
this month? Give me an endless amount of boards, give me a couple 100 jewels for grinding this fucking raid boss out.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
a lot more people would be doing it.
So how many games encourage like that premium currency, whatever, and you can get more of it by playing the game more. Like it's not just there is quite literally a limited amount that you can get per day.
Dokkan does that. Dokkan has their login stuff you can do, but they've also got stuff like Super Battle Road where you can get jewel, well not jewels, but you can get currency for completing those, and then there's quests inside after you beat those that give you currency for doing that. Every single story event gives you
Yeah.
currency. Every boss fight, there's two different stages. There's like an easier mode for people that can't beat the harder version of it. That'll give you currency, and then there's the hard version that gives you more medals to awaken your stuff. But it's a longer fight that also gives you currency. Sometimes, like for the event we're doing right now, there's like easy A events, like super difficult ass bosses that will pop up. That'll be like, "Hey, we'll give you some every single stage you beat," which is like a total of 30 that you can get from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of shit that you can get currency from in that game. On top of because that game is a little bit more popular than KHUX, so they have events like download milestones. So we get like 50 jewels, not jewels, but we get enough for like multiple multi pools just by logging in. Or like if you do your dailies or these events every day, you get like 25 jewels total or whatever, like 25 currency every single day for logging in and doing this on top of wishes because of the whole summoning the Dragon Ball. If you find the Dragon Balls, you get wishes that can give you currency that way. So there's a whole bunch of different things you can do in the game that gives you currency
And
outside of just doing events.
every story quest has 3 difficulty modes, which I would
Yep.
like to have. I would love that to happen in khux, right? Like we have Proud Quest, that's different, but it's the same exact quest. It's just a little harder, right? And then you get 1 stone for every quest that you do, which is you get, I think for one multi pull, which is kind of like a regular pull in Kingdom Hearts. When we get 3,000 jewels, it's only 50 in Dokkan. So for every
You get
50 quests you
you get
do, you
one
get one.
stone. You get one stone for every quest you do, but for beating all 3, if you do the normal, hard, and then like the super version, you get like 2 extra stones on top of the mission in like the little mission log, because there's all the quests you have normally, but inside your mission log of stuff you can achieve inside those fights, you
Mhm.
have extra stones you can get, and some give you like upwards to like 5, 10, 15.
Yep.
Beating one of the harder events gives you like 30 if you do it.
Yep.
So and every time you level up, you get every time you hit like 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, you get stones that way too.
Mhm.
And they do a lot of like discount multis, and they give away tickets. So the past thing they did for anniversary was they did a step up banner. So it was like 5 pulls first, you get like 1 card. Then the next one would be 15 stones, which would give you like 3. Then the next one was 10, but you only had to spend 40 stones for it. So you're getting several cards for less than what it would cost you to do a multi. You're guaranteed at least 1 SSR in every pull that you're doing, and you get tickets. The tickets you get is random, but there's a separate banner on that to where you can spend your ticket. So let's say this was KHUX and you did some multis, kind of like their fallen price deals, kind of sort of, but in reverse.
Yeah.
But you got tickets to summon on a Kyrie, even though you may not have gotten Kyrie. Every banner you did, you got tickets, and then there's a ticket banner that has the same pull rate, but I didn't get Kyrie in any of the jewels that I spent, but I got her on these ticket pulls that I got.
Yeah, the only way you can pull from those are the tickets. I mean, Kingdom Hearts. What I played a few gacha games, and Kingdom Hearts is completely separate from what they do. Like, let's look at Opera Omnia, right? Each character levels up individually. Kingdom Hearts has the Keyblade, where you're leveling up the Keyblade, and the characters are super easy to level up. Dokkan, you level each character individually. So there's different grinds involved, but Kingdom Hearts, they can definitely add more to it that can give more jewels, especially like the story quests. We have what, 700? How many quests?
Like
It's
750.
800 or something now.
It's 800 now, whatever it is. So imagine if you
Yeah.
can get more stones for every 5 quests that you complete from the different difficulty levels. So you're pretty much tripling your intake of jewels pretty much at that point.
Also,
they could
traits
definitely
aren't
take
RNG
some-
either.
No, yeah, there's no
Traits
yeah.
aren't RNG in Dokkan. Like if you get a dupe of a card that you've got and you want to put a trait on it, you can pick your abilities that you want to have on that card. You don't have to like maybe get some shit on it.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy. But so Kingdom Hearts can definitely add more jewels, and I don't think anybody would, in their right mind, would say like, no, I wouldn't take grinding for jewels. You know, like I'm pretty sure somebody would actually argue that. I don't even want to get into.
No, they could.
I'd probably smack that
Square
person.
could definitely take some inspiration from
Yeah,
other
I'd
different country
definitely
games and
take
implement
some.
them. But
I'd take some more content that keeps me in the game that doesn't just, oh hey, we took this away, so you have no choice but to do these events because you're bone dry on it.
Yeah.
well, it's like this summer vacation event thing. I didn't give two
Yeah, I
fucks
don't
about
care
it
to
up
do that
until
at all.
today when JP said they were getting. Gems
Yeah, gems and whatnot.
I didn't care.
Oh,
Now I'll probably go
Yeah,
back and catch up.
JP announced this morning that we're getting Moon
Critical
Gem,
mode,
Luna
right?
Stone, yeah, critical mode, Power Gem, Speed Gem, and Magic Gem for
Oh,
completing critical, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't need
I would
Moonstones
love it.
because I have like 15. So
I would love a critical mode in that game, man. It would be dope.
Well, but yeah, I mean, if we do get a critical mode for the regular story, that's probably how many thousand jewels right there? Like if it's
Yeah,
there's
a
a
sort of
lot of jewels
Agrabah.
anybody can get it.
oh god, I mean, I'm not-
Honestly, that's a really good way to incentivize AoE. That's a good incentive to
Mhm.
make people want to level up their medals that are AoE for critical mode, because if it's not a 7-star, you can't do damage.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that one of the requirements for critical mode is 7-star only.
Yeah.
Well, what if it's like no requirements, but you physically
you
need
just
to
needed
have
them?
ridiculously strong shit to pass it? Like you need to have AoE 7
I
stars, or
prefer
you need
that.
to have.
That way you're not constantly going back and changing your
Yeah.
setups.
That's the
Yeah.
worst part about Proud Mode. It's like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
alright, let's just go back
I mean,
in
yes,
and
I did
tweak.
the optimize button, but that doesn't always work. And then
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
if they just made
I would go with that if you
super
just needed
difficult
strong shit.
mode, I'd be all
Well,
for
Proud
it.
Mode, anyway, for me, I mean, at least personally for me, is find a copycat medal and put Kari EX, or like whatever the current Kari is,
Basically.
and just
Exactly.
try and do that. That's all it is. I mean,
Well,
if they
that
do a
and
critical
7-star
mode where the
medals
bosses
now, you
have,
basically
like,
one-shot everything. So
yeah.
Well, with critical mode, what you were saying makes sense, right? And then what they can do is, you know how you have to get the Mickey head for the objectives? What they
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
is like the third objective, make it harder where you have to use this specific keyblade, right? Like use fairy, like they do that anyway with some of the quests, and then they can
Mhm.
make it harder where they can tailor it to like shit. This is gonna be a little tougher because it's harder to
no,
get.
if they do
these type of
critical
medals
mode,
first.
it's gonna be the way they've done a couple of the previous events where you have to do all three, or it's no
I can
see
dice.
That'd
Oh,
probably
I
be,
could do
yeah,
that.
that'd be it.
Well, the thing is, it won't stop people from getting their jewels because remember, in story mode, if you complete 5 quests, you're gonna get the set amount of jewels anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Mhm.
can give extra.
No, but if you had
incentives to
extra
complete.
incentive to critical mode, then in
But what are the other incentives outside of, like maybe
New
maybe
Keyblades.
that's where they new keyblades, or they put they put silver tickets like every
Mm.
25
put
or
tickets,
some
you could
shit.
put gems, you could
They can do
put.
that. You could put gems, like an extra 30 gems or some shit. And little things
Damn,
like that would
30?
make people happy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
I'm
stretched
just
over
thinking-
800 quests, yeah, sure.
But I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
thinking about the way Cena thinks, right? It's like they're not gonna give us an extra 200 gems. You know what I'm saying? Like, or jewels, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just gonna like, we'll take 30. That's it.
Okay, but going along that line of thinking what Cena thinks, like the reason they did Proud Mode is because that way tons of different medals had value because, okay, well, shit, I don't have this AoE medal right now, but I might need it for Proud Mode. You know, I might literally get stuck on a Proud Mode quest and I can't beat it unless I have a power 0 gauge cost medal that happens to go, like, a reverse power 0, you know, as an example like that. So if they were to add a critical mode, what would be the incentive behind it? Like, that's what I'm thinking. You literally need to have uber strong shit to get through it. That might be one of their incentives, or I don't know. This is very much wishful thinking, what I'm saying right now, but
No, that
what
actually.
would
that
get you to
make
pull
sense.
more? What would get you to spend more to beat it? Because that's you want to be able to show off that you've beaten it, right? And you have exclusive rewards for that. I mean, that's those Keyblades. The Keyblades, you get to show off, oh, I have this beautiful, you know, Darknor or whatever it happened to be, because you were the first person to pass that content.
Mhm.
But
Well, they can
you
even do
also
avatar
run into
parts.
the, like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a problem on my end, but for people that are free to play, not free to play, but for the people that are the type that I don't necessarily agree with, they'd be like, "Oh man, I couldn't complete the critical mode. I can't get this Keyblade. Fuck this game. This is some welding ass shit." Like that's exactly what would happen. Because it happened with some of the other content that required you to actually have those reverse Keyblades.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know.
Well, why don't they just add avatar parts, right? Like if you're able to complete this set of critical modes and all the Mickey
Not a bad
heads,
idea.
you'll get like this special thing that you can wear on your character, like a crown or some shit. Like I completed it. You know,
Yeah.
they
If you
did that
make
with one of the hard events.
critical mode incentive based on like so many different levels. You could add gems, tools, tickets, fairies, avatar parts. There's so much you could do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you added all of that and just make critical mode, people would be grinding the shit out of that thing.
And then the thing
And
is,
throw in
everybody's always
those
complaining about
quests like Proud 160, the ones that people are gonna get stuck on. Make that like common to where people are
Yeah, I
going
mean-
to get stuck. Everyone will get stuck.
It's
That's
not even a
why we
bad
do the
thing.
whales.
Like there should be a challenge in a video game. It shouldn't just be like, oh well, there's another box I got to tick. Let's go fill out all
Yeah.
these objectives
Yeah,
just
let's
to get
go,
my
do,
token.
let's go do the story mode where I can just use Kyrie EX Plus and just whoop, you're dead. Whoop, you're dead.
Yeah,
You could literally beat the whole story pretty much with just Kyrie, bro.
Yep.
easily.
I miss the days of when we were in story mode and ran up
Master
on like
Ava.
Ava and shit. Like, oh my god!
I
Like,
remember
why
reading
is
Reddit.
this?
People are stuck.
Make critical mode hard as shit.
But then again, that'll come into play with a free-to-play play. They can't do that because then the free-to-play players are gonna complain, right? They have
No,
to
but like that's the
Yeah,
thing though.
but-
Like, not everybody
yeah.
should be able to do everything. Like that's like my biggest gripe with a lot of people that do that is not everybody can do everything.
But bro,
Okay,
just
example,
imagine-
Moogle of Glory. Moogle of Glory was fucking difficult when that first came out. That was insanely difficult. But eventually everyone could get through it. But that was the thing. It was like every week I'd be like, all right, I can't wait to challenge this thing. All right, am I better? Am I good enough this week that I can take it on? Because it was only available Saturday and Sunday, right? Those quests initially.
Yeah.
That would be my goal every week. It's like, all right, this weekend, motherfucker, I'm getting this Keyblade, and I would work for it. You know, it was difficult, but I would work for it, and it would, then. Illustrated KH2 Kari comes along and it's like, holy shit, I can do this now because you get the gauge restore. Like, those quests were so goddamn difficult,
I
but
finished it with
when I
WoW.
completed them, it was like, holy shit, I did it.
Mhm.
There was
Yeah.
a feeling of I have completed something rather than just I equipped Kari Plus and I beat the entire game.
That
Like,
shit
it's
was
just a
rough. Like,
chore.
honestly, I would love a quest for a Keyblade like that, but but don't put it behind just VIP because that's kind of
No,
shady
hell
if
no.
they do it like that. But if they give us something to that degree, but amp it up to our level of difficulty now and make it a Keyblade worth getting, because no one really uses Mog unless you have to, honestly. But I would love an event like that if they had sparse critical event missions or some shit like that where you can get something worthwhile out of it. And we got jewels out of completing all the event, like all the objectives and shit out of it too, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, didn't you get something specifically out of that? So yeah, like if they did something like that where you're incentivized to keep going back in and farming and grinding for it, like get all the parts together to put together this dope ass Keyblade that may be on the level of not Moogle Glory, but Fairy Stars or in between Fairy Stars, Stroke of Midnight or something, would be dope.
And
I
what
would
be
love
cool
that.
if they left it like as Moogle Glory, that quest is still going. Never get rid of that quest, so people could eventually build up to be able to finish it. This way,
100%.
people who struggle with it now, they can finish it later. Because like when I first started playing the game, I couldn't finish Moogle Glory. I only finished it when WAF came out, and I was powerful enough to get it through with that, So they can do that for sure, 100%.
Well,
That
it's like when
makes
they
sense.
changed Proud 160, so many people got stuck on it.
Yeah. What
And
did they
they
change it to?
released-
Because I had surpassed it already. Like, what did they
Yeah,
switch
so
it
did
to?
I.
It's
It's
a
a
Iron
Behemoth
Giant with a,
now or something. Oh, Iron Giant, yeah, you're right, you're right.
with a
Yeah,
ton
that's
of
why I do
HP,
it
and you can only
as
use
soon as they come out.
hits with 8 or more,
Eight
8 or more hits.
And what
And you
blade
have
is
to
it?
use 3 wishes.
3 wishes, right? Yeah.
Best
So
blade
medals that
ever.
were really good were like Aqua B, 358 over 2 days, Riku, medals like that. But I see where a lot of people got stuck on it, but now it's insanely easy to do. Especially with 7
stars
stars.
make everything easy, yeah.
Oh,
If
now,
you make
yeah.
critical mode adjust to the difficulty and adjust to the meta, no problems. That would be
So the big problem with that
Great
is just
addition.
the power leap is ridiculous in this game, and it's like every couple months it just goes, and here's another ridiculously
Power creep.
you know,
Eventually,
necessary.
Yay!
There's people that were stuck on 160 can breeze through 160 now that we have 7 stars.
See,
Mhm.
here's my
People
fear.
will catch
is-
up.
My fear is that because people keep asking about like the difficulty and we want this or we want that or how come this is like this is just easy. We all just breeze through it. Anyone that's been playing this game long enough remembers the Xemnas B event.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyone that has been playing this shit
Oh, God,
long
yes.
enough knows how shitty that event was on
Yes.
both versions of the game. My biggest fear is they gonna drop like when Xemnas comes out because he might be the last one that they do. No, Zalzin has to come out, but Zalzin's probably gonna be easy as fuck because I'm pretty sure they're not gonna adjust his
They're not going to
difficulty
touch
to
it.
anything.
No way. No.
But Xemnas is gonna be that one that's gonna fuck everybody up, like
What do
100.
you
The
think
last
about-
one they'll do is probably will be Roxas or Shion because they're 13 and 14, and those ones will be fun because
But-
they're
but
actual
those were
Keyblade motors.
easy.
Those could be very
But
difficult.
they were easy compared to Xemnas. Though Xemnas was that dude that was like, "Holy shit, how am I supposed to get through this?"
A lot of people
With the
struggled
timer
with
and the
Nexus.
counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
The timer, because
Yeah,
the timer
so-
came into to play for that. So the amount of hits a metal does will come into play. How much time you waste comes into play. Aaron was super well in at the time. MDF was super well in at the time, and they had to struggle for a while to beat those events.
And then what's
So
gonna happen
it's-
is they're gonna drop a new Sephiroth that's single target, and you're gonna have to pull for that to beat that. Watch.
Yep.
They're not. It's gonna be. Oh, they could also add Proud Plus again to help us with like the gems that we need, right? Like the moon gems.
Mm.
Add new
Yeah,
Proud-
definitely.
Nobody's doing them shits. You can beat those like.
Well,
with nothing
that-
now.
That's the monthly gem quest, though, right? That became the successor to that. The monthly gem quest.
Mhm.
That's kind of like the proud.
Because remember, the Proud Plus was progressive, so you couldn't like a lot of people couldn't finish it through. They're like, I can get to this one right now, and eventually they complete all of them. And they can do that where you can have quests that everybody can't complete right away and just let it keep going, just to give some content.
Yeah,
over
if you don't
time.
have the quests expire, eventually everyone's going to be able to complete them.
Yeah.
With 7 stars, if you can't complete Proud Mode, obviously you're very new or you're really bad at the game.
Yep.
So,
And the game is not luck. It's not skill based. This game is not really a skill based game, so you just don't know what you're doing pretty much.
Well,
I'd say the only skill involved would be in PvP, and that's not really a whole lot of skill involved in that either, but
I guess we're
definitely is some, a whole lot.
I guess we're gonna have to see what happens in JP next month. Cause don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see what happens, but at the same time, it's just like,
Yeah, we're talking about a critical node that might not even be in the
you never know
Yeah,
because it popped up in
I mean,
Chi.
it could come out, it could not come ever, so let's not get too...
Or maybe they're
But I
just
think the
sticking
summer
JP.
adventure is a good sign.
I mean, that's a sign right there. If JP got it, which I'm looking at it right now, you never know. I mean, they could probably start being like, okay, you know, we'll start doing story quests and whatnot. Like, let's do this, let's do that, because
If
like,
they do it, great. If they don't, you know,
so
Yeah, for sure.
we'll
I mean,
see.
it would make sense in terms of like resources per, I don't know, like effort per. You know, what am I trying to say here? Like, if you've already got all the story missions already made, everything's just in there. You have to rebalance it a bit, like jack up the difficulty of the enemies.
mhm.
I imagine in terms of effort, it's easier to do that than to create a shitload of new content.
Yeah,
True.
I mean, you could just rework all the old missions and just buff them to all
Yeah.
hell and add different conditions to them.
Yeah, condition.
What do you guys
You just
think about my theory of when you have the Organization Plus events, or whatever you want to call it, the data organization events?
Uh-huh.
If they go ahead and have, let's say, 14 members of Organization 13, and they have, you know, let's say 5 of one attribute, 5 of another attribute, 4 of the final attribute. What if they do, like, let's say we get in December, we get Luxine, and then, I don't know, sometime around Christmas, we get Roxas B, Shingon B, and then Xemnas the next month after. What if they go ahead and do, like, a double Xemnas event where, like, one of them's regular Black Code Xemnas, and it's pretty difficult, and then you have, like, Zebra Code Xemnas the week after that, which is insanely difficult. And it makes, like, the 15th medal, 15th Organization 13 medal, and, I don't know, it, like, completes, you know, 5 of each attribute.
Honestly, I could see that only because by the time Xemnas comes out, Tier 8's probably going to be done with, and we'll be into Tier 9
Yeah.
by the time Xemnas
Yeah.
drops. And we'll, like, Azula already been past all the other primes by the time this dude comes out. So it's about to be, he's going to be real difficult.
I
Like,
think the problem is they started with Zaldin, who's number 3,
Yeah.
and JP. We started with Vex and
oh
Global.
shit, we got to do Zigbar too.
So we'll have Zigbar and Xemnas after
Zigbar
Zen-
ends out then after Xemnas.
Zaldin, after
Yeah.
Xemnas. So
Yeah.
Well, to be
Xemnas
fair, it's
can't be the
really no
hardest one.
different from like. No, he can because remember, like
I guess he can,
Axel
but
wasn't
he shouldn't
shit.
be.
Axel wasn't shit compared to Syax for a lot of people. And if I'm not mistaken, in the Organization B event, Roxas and Shion B weren't all that. Their events weren't all that compared to Xemnas either. Because didn't we get because we got Xemnas and then we ended up getting Zigbar because didn't we get our events out of order the first time too?
Our first one was Marluxia.
Yeah, Marluxia was our first one, then
Yeah.
Larxene. They skipped Roxas and Shion, then went to
Xemnas in January.
Xemnas, and he was the hardest one by far. And then went to Zigbar, and then all the rest of them. And Roxas and Shion were a joke because by the time they came out, no one used them because they weren't worth it.
I said it last week, and I kind of hope they do it. Once they go through the original 14, they should do a 15th month, but you have to fight each individual one, leading up to Xemnas at the very end, and you can make that the Zebra Coat Xemnas.
I would like that.
Event number 15. Go through
I
Xemnas
would.
1, then all throughout the organization, beat Shion, and then you have to fight Zebra Coat Xemnas at the end. That'd be cool.
I'd really like that.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
Yep.
Shit's gonna be interesting, boys.
Yeah,
I think we've covered a lot today.
Yep. It was fun
I need to go
having
to
you
bed
on, Damo.
because I have to work in the morning. So
Sucks for you.
Yeah,
It
Damo.
does.
Before we go,
time and a half. So
Damo, before you go though, so it's like what you do for the community. I think we can all agree that it's just amazing. Like all the information you give out, especially the free-to-play players, bro. So like we really appreciate it. So that follow Damo thing started off as a joke, but it's like Proper really started it. I think it was Prop that started it just to bring more awareness to your channel because we feel like what you do for the community deserves more attention, and we really appreciate you. So
I'll
I
take
wish
joint
we
credit
had.
for that. Shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish we had like we could insert like a clapping sound now, so we don't want to clap on the podcast. But we don't. There you go, clap, I'll clap. But we really do appreciate it.
Oh, I thought they were beating up.
Either or, man. I'm good with that.
Beat up for Damo.
I mean, honestly, like, I appreciate that, but I do it like the questions I ask myself when I'm thinking, okay, should I go ahead and pull for this? I'm like, well, if I'm asking that question, there's probably other people asking that question as well. So I make the stuff. I started making it just for me, and then I thought, well, no, I'll make it in a more precise format, and then I can share it around with people because hopefully this helps out. We're all trying to get through this game together and do the best that we can, and especially beating all the content. That's the thing. Like, if you have content there and you can't beat it, especially because content is kind of sparse in this game, it's such a shame.
Yeah.
So it's more about like, let's try and have the most amount of fun we can in this game. And I don't know, man. I don't do it for. I really appreciate what you guys have just said, but that's really, really nice.
I think you're by far the best YouTube channel to go to for free-to-play players, but
Yep.
even so,
100%.
I still watch your videos. Shut the fuck up.
100%.
I mean, even as a whale, I still watch your videos because all
Exactly.
opinions are great
But-
to listen to.
I've said it
I
in your
think you're
comment
great
section
for
before.
Yeah, for sure. And like me personally, like I appreciate all the YouTube community as far as Kingdom Hearts is concerned. Like I appreciate everybody. But I think you stand out the most because of just all the detail and all the information you give out, the charts. And I'm just looking like recently I was just in our Discord like, oh my god, he's just killing shit right now. Just like all the information you're putting out, bro. And it just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And again, we do really appreciate it, bro. It's awesome.
This is our way of saying thank you for coming by this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope to see you.
No,
again.
man, Very, very happy to. I had a really, really good time. Like I love chatting about the game, and it's nice not to be, sitting alone in a room talking to the wall, being like, "Metal, you should keep this banner. It's bait." And at least I can
Exactly how you feel.
bounce ideas off you.
Put a mirror behind your monitor. That way you don't feel so
Exactly.
alone.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I can see the back of his head now.
But no, I'm really glad all you guys create content as well. I mean, it's like this game wouldn't. I mean, who knows if it'd still. Well, I'm sure it'd still be here, but obviously a thriving community needs tons of different opinions in it, and tons of different people discussing and I don't know, succeeding in some areas and making mistakes in other areas. And I don't know if as a community we can get a point across and reach the developers and maybe enact some sort of change. It feels really good. We get that reward afterwards and all that sense of we did it.
And not only that,
podcast.
and not only that, but it would be, well, I guess in our best try to get everybody who is known out there in the community to give their thoughts and opinions, like you, myself, Octo, Aaron, but he's not here, et cetera, the people who everybody knows to either go to or that are fans of. I wish there was a way where everybody can just like work together with all of the things and whatnot, but everybody has different opinions and whatnot, so that kind of can be a little bit tough. But it's always good to be in that like one little certain group in the community, this community, and know that hey, I'm not the only one that thinks like this way or this other way, or I can like calmly not get into like a huge argument, but still talk about it in a proper manner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why we started the podcast. That's what's so great about it, is we can bring in people with so many different opinions on different things. We can just talk about them, because not everyone's going to agree on everything. There are things that Lost will say that I think he's a fucking moron for saying, and vice versa, which probably happens a lot. So
The same about you, motherfucker.
That's right. and vice versa. So no, different opinions are always good to have. So.
And we should just support each other as content creators. It's a small community, so just
Exactly.
Yeah, like I mean, it's best to to just keep whatever difference is. And I mean, hell, I'll admit it and say it that I've learned this recently myself, that it's best to keep like whatever feelings you have aside and just think about that. Hey, you're one of the few faces out there that are in a way making this community, and that people look up to. And so, especially for you, Damo, being that free-to-play guy who is like throwing so much more information like out of nowhere, but you know what? I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, I wish I can be and do what he does, but at the same time, it's just like, I let him do him because he deserves
You
more.
have to give up your job, man.
That's it.
Retire.
But I feel like like everybody has their strong points on different points on just this game in general. It doesn't matter what version of the game it is. So, and I mean, when it comes to you, you're strictly free to play. When it comes to like myself, I'm over here, just I guess providing entertainment, because I don't think I give good advice to anybody. So.
Oh, you suck.
So it's just little stuff like that maybe one day this community can bring all those strong points together into one and just be like, well, bam. This is the best advice that we can actually give you in whatever kind of content that comes out,
Like I said, I'm not against spending money on this game whatsoever. Like, I think, obviously, without people spending money on it, the only reason I'm, like, strictly free to play is because it's like, I don't want anyone to be able to not beat content that I can beat. The idea, I can beat, surely anyone else can. It's like, even if you start and you kind of suffer for a few months, but you just save up the jewels, and then that awesome bounty comes along, and then you're just like right up there in terms of power with the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can be the content creator voice of the free-to-play community, so it's...
He's the voice of
nice
the
to see
voiceless.
that out there.
Well, they're not voice. But he's the voice
Of the penniless.
yeah, that's the one.
The voice of the broke.
Look, until you start doing a pool video on the toilet, then I'll have 120% more respect for you. Just saying.
That's the perfect series, though. You should do toilet polls with Lost Predictions.
That's it.
You know what? One day I will fucking do that shit. Like, hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, we're doing a pool video right now.
but on the real though, man, like
We'll
thank
save
you
that for
so
next
much
week.
for like doing what you do though, because I've been watching you since shit. Like it's been a long fucking time since I've been watching you do what you do. So that's why I wanted to start doing that thing and help put more emphasis on what it is that you do, because you just seem way more informative to the community than any other person that I watch. Not no offense, Lost,
Oh,
even
you're
though you
fine,
play
dude.
PvP mostly, but like for all of us free to play and pay to win VIP whatever, like your videos are informative for literally everyone. So like honestly, thank you, man, for doing what you do and continue. Hopefully, you continue doing that shit and
That's
just
really
keep
like
producing fire.
Whoa,
when we connect, and
whoa, whoa.
reached out to me for my friend in the water cage, and
Hold
the
on,
things he was talking
Damo,
about,
Damo,
he's
Damo.
like,
You sound like a robot. Hold up.
Found out her secret. He's
Whoa.
Episode 1 podcast.
You sounded for a robot like a second.
am I still a droid?
Yeah, you're still a droid.
Shit.
Rip the internet.
At least you know his aim sucks.
That's
Of course, that happens like right after I say some shit.
I know, right? You jinxed it.
You ain't shit, bro.
There goes
That's what
proper
happened.
fucking shit up.
What happens? The Goku block and the KHUX immunity. It happens like that, fam.
Alright.
So full of yourself.
Hey, I just like
Hello.
causing chaos. I can't help it.
Hello.
Still a droid?
A little bit.
Barely.
I think you're okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Try again.
Still a little droidy. Beep boop beep boop.
Dude,
That's right, we're signing off, so just
Yeah.
closing statements.
Oh, that's a. I guess. That's a way to close this shit off.
Bro, what?
Well,
Anyway, Damo, thank you
well,
for all you do. And
Exactly.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, man. Continue doing what you're doing. You're doing great. Hopefully, one day you can be the top face in the community, and we thank you for joining us tonight. You know you
no,
can't.
thank you. Thank you guys so much. Oh, damn it.
If you want to come by for another podcast in the future, you're more than welcome. to.
Exactly, man. We'll he's lying laughing. Well, I will speak to him. I will speak for him, you know, and I guess say thanks for having me here. And whatnot.
Don't forget to say that.
And was that? Oh, and yes, definitely. If you do not if you do not know who this person is, I will put the links to his channel, his Twitter, whatever it is that he wants me to link, down in the description for below for you guys. But as always, thank you so much if you've been here the whole entire time. Thank you so much for watching, for hearing us out, and all of us will see you guys later.
Later, bro.
Bye.
Take care.
Have a good one, y'all.